button. Yes. Okay, now I got to figure out how to stream this. So it should be one click here. This is an adventure. I dry tested a lot of this, but we'll see if I can pull it off here. Yep. Hold on real quick. Go live. All right, should be going live on Facebook. And then I actually have an iPad right here. Then I'm going to go live on Instagram. Let me see if I can pull this off too real quick. Go thing. Live, baby. All right, should be going live on Facebook. Oh, now I'm like, I can hear my own self. And then I actually have, bear with me. There we go. Okay. I think we're ready to rock and roll, dude. And we're live on Instagram. What up, Instagram? In the house, we got one person on there. Okay, so this is the first Zoom meeting I ever done. So I've been a part of many, but never hosted. So bear with me here. So let me see if I can pull up. Let me get my chat up over here just in case the chat gets active. All right, dude, I think we're ready to rock. Okay, so we got 7 people. So I don't know if we should just get rocking or if we should wait for more people to come on. I would imagine people will be a little bit late. Let me see if I can see more people. No, I do not know how to do that. Oh, there's people in the waiting room. Shit, I forgot about that. That's gonna be. So I'm hosting and I'm webinaring and I'm live. I'm doing all the things at one time here. So bear with me. I'm on the 1s and 2s, and I'm the MC and I'm the host. Okay, here we go. Let's crack our first one. Oh yeah. So I'm going, right? This is going to be a marathon, I have a feeling, not a sprint. So I've got just a nice watery Michelob to start, a little mineral water. All right, hold on. We got more people coming in. This is exciting. So the reason I had to do where like I have to allow you into the meeting is because I was reading up on Zoom doing my homework, and apparently if the room gets over 100, which I highly doubt is going to happen, but like I didn't know, you know what I mean? The room gets over 100 people, it shuts off and kicks everybody out, and we're done. We're done here. So I was like, okay, I'm going to have to do where like I let people in or whatever. But so we're rocking. Oh yeah, man, we got people coming. So we'll kind of keep stalling here. So I'll tell the story of what this show is, right? And it's kind of just been called Booze and Biz. I don't know what it's going to end up being eventually called. But so I was actually on one of Jana's roundtables last week, I think on Thursday. And this thing was a rager. It went till like almost midnight my time, which is way past my bedtime. And so in there, like it was kind of quiet, you know what I mean? And so one of the ladies, and I forgot her name. I didn't know who she was. I'd never seen her in any of the rooms before, but she was cool. She was very talkative. She said, we need to do a beer and wine round table or something like that. And I was like, oh, dude, I bet that would get people going. And so a couple of days later, I jokingly posted, I'm going to start this beer and wine show, or I'm going to do this Booze and Biz show. Like I just randomly posted it on Facebook. It was like the most innocuous post I've ever made. I don't even know if the punctuation was correct. And then the post goes absolutely crazy. And so I was just like, okay, screw it. I said on there I was going to talk to my wife and see what was a good day to do it. And I didn't even do that. She's actually at a meeting right now for, she's riding in a parade. She's riding in a parade. So she's got her like parade meeting where they buy their beads or whatever. And for those of you that are not from Louisiana, it's not what you think. It's not what you think. It's a totally different thing of whatever you're thinking. Okay. But anyways, so she's not here. So my parents are actually watching Brody, and then the other kids are in the other room. I tried to kick them out, but they wouldn't leave. But anyways, so this show, Booze and Biz, so to speak, was kind of born out of a random Facebook post. So that was super cool. All right. So the first person that was supposed to have a question for me was John Cooper, but he actually still had to work. He's working right now. So hopefully whenever I do get him on one of these, I can give him good enough advice to where he never has to work ever again, because his business will explode. But in the meantime, he couldn't make it on. And then I guess his business partner also had to work. I'm not sure what time zone he's in, right? This is not super convenient for you guys over on the West Coast drinking at 4:05. But hey, we're doing what we're doing. The next person that's supposed to come on is Justin May. He was, Justin, are you in here? Let me look and see if he's in. I don't think he is. I don't think Justin's in here. Not yet, at least. So we've got 13 people in the Zoom. I have no idea how many on Facebook. I don't even know how to look when you're live on Facebook. I don't even know. And then we got 9 people over on Instagram. What up, Instagram? I see Robert Corley. I see some other people in there. I saw my mom a second ago. Shout out to mom. But anyways, so I figure we can just open up, you know, you guys can ask me questions. We can talk about whatever. I think this is going to be super cool as long as everybody's not super hush hush. So there should be a little button somewhere to raise your hand. Or as of right now, obviously nobody is doing anything. So you can just unmute and talk. Whether you want to talk about something cool or ask me a question, I'm good with either. So let's hear it. Who's got something that wants to, anybody want to kick it off? Oh, I see Jared. All right, Jared. You want to ask it, Jared, or you want me to go off the chat?
Yeah, I'll ask it. How did you decide how many people to hire? Are they full-time? And does the number fluctuate? Like, how are you figuring that out to be efficient?
Yeah, so to how many to hire is kind of one of those, like, you kind of fly by the seat of your pants, you know what I mean? Because you don't know, because if you overdo it, one of two problems happens. Either you spend way too much money on payroll if you're a nice guy and you're trying to get everybody hours, or nobody gets hours and then they bail and you lose potentially good people, right? So it's kind of this balance, at least in the beginning. Once you get the flow, you kind of start to understand what you need. But for this year, so for the jump off right now, we got 8 guys plus myself. And that for us was definitely the right number. I will say this, May was absolutely bonkers. I just couldn't even believe how busy May was. And we were like staffed perfectly in May. Like if somebody would have Josh got COVID a couple weeks ago. And it was cool, right? Because we were past 4th of July, like everything's all good. So we could sub him out and everything still flowed good. If that had happened in May, I really don't know what we would have done. Like it was that busy. But to answer your question, it's really, for me, the way I operate business is I'm very intuitive. I'm an intuitive. My gut kind of feels out the situation and tells me where to go. And so coming into this year, we've been so busy at the tail end of last year, right? And then Let's Get Lit, my Christmas light business, was so busy last year to where, I couldn't hire enough guys. I needed more. I decided I'm going to bring on a bunch of guys, probably started hiring March-ish, even maybe February-ish. I'm not sure. I wish some of the guys were in here, they could tell you. But I just started bringing on guys because it was just like, I'd rather be overstaffed than understaffed, in anticipation to go big. From there, right? So once I knew I had guys that were hired and were good, I then went aggressive on marketing because I knew I had the team to do the biz. And so then I went heavy on, I hired Event Hawk to do marketing on my website. I hired Event Hawk to do my Google ads. And then eventually I hired Event Hawk to also do my Facebook ads. And so between those three, it's kind of a mesh of both, if that makes sense.
So when you were onboarding guys just left and right, did you get lucky with all their personalities being able to jive with the just do it mentality? Or was there something specifically you were looking for when you were talking to them to say, yeah, that's one of my guys, that'll stick around?
So definitely a little bit of both. So my first 2 guys that I'd hired last year, they were both friends. So I hired Tyler, and he did a great job. And then he referred Ethan, and Ethan did a great job. So they still both work for me. They still do a great job. And then I hired Jacob. So then, and Jacob was recruited by Michelle, right? Michelle cut his hair. That's how Tyler was recruited too. So Low key, Michelle's like the secret weapon. So anyways, I hired Jacob. He started, and it was shaky in the beginning. I really liked him as a person. In the interview, I really liked him, right? But he was having a hard time rolling some slides, but he definitely was like a soldier, right? Go-getter. As things kind of started getting busier, he had other people. So then he referred Isaiah, and Isaiah also works for another slide company too. So Isaiah kind of came in knowing, quote unquote, as much as me, in general about the inflatable business, not specifically what we do at the Jump Off, but right. And so I was just very straightforward with Jacob, where I said, look, if you've got a guy that you think is good, I'm going to interview him. I'm going to interview everybody, but you refer him, and I'm going to hold you accountable if he sucks, right? If I got to fire him, I'm going to be pissed at you. And he stood by his man, right? So then brought on Isaiah. Isaiah did great. And then Isaiah referred Logan. It's kind of the same conversation, right? And then Logan referred Travis. And then I'm not sure who referred Josh. It might have been Isaiah. I'm not positive. But they're all buddies, right? And so every time I kept, right, you're not supposed to hire friends. But every time I kept hiring one of their friends, like, they just kept being badass, right? And so they're coming to the table with a great attitude, and they just like, that group of friends is like known as workers, like they just grind. And so from that standpoint, yeah, 100% hit the personality lottery. And then as they come on, I'm interviewing them, and then in the interviews, like, the interviewing thing is really hard to talk about, but the way I interview, it's very conversational. I'm not, over here with my pencil, like grilling them and making them sweat. It's very conversational, because I want them to open up, and I want to figure out who the real them is. And basically what I want to find is, do they have a desire, right? Because what we do is hard. So it's like, do they have a desire to find joy on the job? Yes, everybody wants money. Like, yes, everybody wants a good boss. Everybody wants perks. Everybody wants more per hour and lunch for free and da. But it's like, I wanted to find people that would find joy on the job. And so that's kind of, that's how I found them. And that's kind of where we're at. I've just started to, right, because we only work on the weekends. And so I kind of make the joke that, like, no matter what you do, everything else is always your side hustle. Jump Off is always your main one. But like Alex, who worked for me in lights and did a great job and just came over to Jump Off, he just texted me that he got, a full-time job. And so it's kind of one of those things where, as that continues to obviously happen, I'm going to just keep hiring more. There's only so many friends in that friend group, right, that I can hire. So I'll start recruiting now, especially for lights. And maybe this will answer your question, but in the interview, that is the key for me, where I really talk to them and really get them to open up, just the way I talk, gets them to open up. They tell me shit that, like, people say shit in the interview to me that they definitely shouldn't say in an interview, right? And you can see their face. As soon as they say it, you can see their face go, oh, what did I just say? But then, and then I always thank them, for being open. And then we dig and we dig and we dig. And I just ask follow-up questions and kind of dig through to see if it's somebody that I think, like I said, will find joy on the job. I don't want somebody that just wants a job. You know what I mean?
I think it's cool. I mean, knowing that they're going out afterwards, like that guy getting, a full-time gig and having to step back. It's neat that you got to be that part of his progress to learn how to find the joy on the job. So, I mean, all the badassery that he had before, you amplify it, then his next boss doesn't even know he's lucky.
Right. Yeah, very right. Very right.
So you get to do a public service at the same time.
That's one of the things that I really think that sets me apart, from a normal boss, is that in no way, shape, or form am I out there, trying to get them to do things and calling things my this and my that. I really, really, honest to God, treat them like a co-owner. And I say, it's our forklift, it's our slide, it's our problem, whatever it is, right? And as it takes them a minute, right? Because they're not used to that. But as soon as they start to kind of get into that, they start to feel like a part of a movement, if you will, versus just a dude that's got to go roll up these heavy ass slides in the 110-degree humidity. as that starts to happen, we're riding in the truck more than we're doing anything, right? And then I just start picking their brains, like, what the hell do you want to do? Like, do you want to go to the military? Do you want to start your own thing? Do you want to be an influencer? Do you want to, go to school, get a good job, whatever? And as that kind of evolves, that conversation evolves, I can really dive in and give them advice to go in the direction, right? I'm just a bounce house guy who used to be a shoe salesman, but I love to give advice, so I'm going to give it regardless, right? And so I try to do my best job I can to steer them where they want to go, even if it's going to be away from me, because it's just like, dude, I just love people, and I feel like the more you invest in them, from any standpoint, the better job you're going to get out of them, and the more complete of a human you're going to get from them. All right, those are good questions. All right, anybody else? Where's the hand raising thing? I thought there was a hand raiser button. I don't see one on mine. Maybe because I'm the host. You guys have a hand raise button?
I don't have one, I don't think.
Maybe that's not a thing.
Reactions.
Oh, there it is. Under reactions. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you guys want to raise your hand or you guys can just unmute, right? There's no formality to this. You guys can do whatever you want.
Nick, I just joined late, but I was curious. I joined, I guess, with the point where you guys are talking about what you do for your employees. So do you do any type of courses or any type of at least for my example, Brown and Brown, they've invested in what's called Amplos. It's like a leadership, guys worked with the Georgia Bulldogs. He worked with Clemson soccer. Obviously, both of those teams just won a national championship, but they didn't want to pat themselves on the back and say that was the only reason why they won. But they did say that at the end of the season, they kind of revisited what they did differently during that season. And obviously with Amplos, that was one of the things they talked about, was just creating psychological safety within the team. So if you guys had issues, feeling like you could raise those issues and not feel like you're going to get fired or have any type of retaliation. That was a huge thing that he really tried to impart upon our team, because usually if you make mistakes in our industry, you're going to get your wrist slapped. It's not just like, oh, my bad. It's going to have some sort of financial repercussion. So usually that was one of the biggest things that you can do to create trust within the team, is if you feel safe. So we basically start out every team meeting with connection questions, like, what's, I don't know, somebody in your life that's most impactful. What's a decision in your life you wish you could undo? What's the proudest moment in your life? And just gaining some sort of perspective from your teammates, and that created trust amongst each other, because every now and then you'll have this magic where people get vulnerable and they'll actually give you some real knowledge or, some sort of history about them. And you can really build on that. And it's something that's really helped our team out. So I didn't know if you guys had done something like that as well.
That's super cool. So I definitely don't do anything that formal. I really do wish I had the personality to do that. It's not in my blood. But I do very similar kind of intuitive micro versions of that, to where if somebody screws something up, right? And thank God, knock on wood, nobody's crashed the truck, nobody's dropped a slide, on the interstate. Like, none of that crazy stuff has happened. But, somebody messes something up, because it's, as this business has grown, it's gotten incredibly complex. Like, I used to just joke about how easy this all was. Like, people say it's hard, and I used to just be like, I don't even know what they're talking about. As it scaled, I'm like, oh, got it. So if somebody messes something up, right, that's almost, I see it almost as an opportunity more than a mistake. Now, there's accountability attached to everything 100%, right? So the worse the mistake, the more the accountability is. But I will use that to kind of pull them aside, metaphorically speaking, and use it to build a relationship to where I try to help them see it from my perspective, but then at the same time, I want to see it from their perspective. Like, what, right? They're not just going to get yelled at or fussed at. Like, what was going through your head that made you do what you did? So then I can analyze your thinking and kind of go backwards. And in that, they start to realize I'm actually pretty okay with mistakes where you took ownership and did it because you thought it was right. And then I start to build that as the foundation of the trust. And from there, they really enjoy the autonomy to go do and create and do the thing that they think they need to do. And they enjoy the safety of the fact that unless they really jack something up, they're not going to get their faces ripped off. Has everybody out there got drinks? I'm interested to see how many people actually showed up with drinks. Cheers. See some ultras, some red wines. I like
Cheers.
it. So I stocked, I don't know if I can show you or not. I got my Yeti down there. It's stocked. It is fully stocked.
I don't have a webcam, but I got some tequila.
There you go, Josh. There you
go, Josh.
All right, cool. All right, so how we looking? We got a pretty big room here. So I found the live part on Facebook. We got 23 people watching on Facebook. We got 6 people on Instagram. And then 23 people in the Zoom. So I think it's safe to say I could probably do the don't admit you to the room thing next time, because this is getting kind of a pain. All right, so anybody else feeling brave, want to take themselves off mute and ask a question, start a conversation, render an opinion? What do you guys got?
If we're still talking about employees, I do have one thing to mention. The most important, I think, Nick, you got this for sure. It's like you just have to show them that you care about them, and they're not just another number. And like once you show them that you actually truly care about them, they'll start working harder. They start showing up and like really putting in some effort. But if you act like you don't care about them, you're just gonna get the worst version of them.
Yeah.
Josh, do you do any one-on-ones with your employees?
I normally like to get everyone together at the same time. And I mean, I'm a little bit more hardcore than Nick. He's a nice guy. He's a good man. And I like to do stuff a little bit rough. Like today, Mechanical Bull went out. They came back with the bull mat. It looked horrible how they rolled it. And I like to get everyone together and be like, who did this? Why does it look like this? Like, you guys need to fix that. And they know that I care about them a lot, so I could be more of an asshole. And I feel like you got to have a good balance of it.
I guess my question was more, do you pull each one of your employees aside for like 10, 15 minutes once a week or something? Just do like a check-in, like, hey, how's everything going? How's the family?
No.
Kind of establish that level of trust on an individual basis. Because
a lot of times I have to get them, like, I'm trying to get them to go home because they want to hang out with me a lot. Even when they're clocked out, they're still trying to, because we're all friends too. I mean, at the end of the day, we build this bond, this relationship. We all become friends. And bitch, I'm like, hey, you have to go home. I got stuff to do. Like, go to your house. But yeah, I don't ever pull anyone aside.
I mean, just for, even if it's like catching them doing something right, that was something that I feel like I've been way more intentional about this past year, was just like, hey, how's everything going? How's the family? I saw that you got this great review because you did a great job with this one particular account. Really calling out the positives and not just bringing them to the side when they screw up and just kind of.
Oh yeah, I do that all the time.
Yeah, like that stuff has made a huge difference. That class that I'm talking about, they talk about building trust with your people, being like it's slowly built over time. If you can imagine an empty glass with a marble, right? Each time you do something, kind of building up trust, add another marble. But if you come in there one day and you're pissed off and you're in a bad mood and you just snap on them, just pour the whole thing out. You got to restart from scratch, right?
I don't ever let like emotions control me, and I never have yelled at them, not even once, ever. And even when they're retarded, like last week, we have power dollies. He drove the dolly and he drove it straight into the water spigot thing that was coming out of the house. It cracked the copper pipe coming out right where the stucco was. And I still didn't yell. I wanted to, but I never do. And he was like, hey, I'll pay for it. Like, how much is it going to cost? And we've got to fix it. But I feel like if you yell at employees, it's like, what pretty much the worst type of communication there is on this planet is yelling. You don't get your point across. It's never good. I will call them retards and stupid and idiots, but I never raise my voice at them and get super mad at them.
Say, hey, do that, I'll get sued.
Hey,
You
Alex,
gotta step your contract game up.
I really like what Alex is bringing up, talking about praising people more than you're fussing at them. I don't get to use my psychology degree very often, but I do know that people don't want to not represent your expectations of them. So if you compliment them on the things that they've done that you want to see continue, they're going to keep doing that. And you get a whole lot more flies with honey. Then that's a silly saying, but it's universal with people. Is we want to be liked and we want to feel helpful. And if we can encourage them on the little tiny things that, hey, you kicked ass rolling that today, he's going to kick ass tomorrow too. You know,
I agree 100%.
that's
I learned
big
from Walt Disney. If you ever watched one of the documentaries about it, like all the people he had working for him, he never like complimented people or like said, hey, you did a good job. But when he actually did say that, it meant so much to the people. So whenever someone actually does do like a really good job, I'm like, hey man, you killed it today. And it means so much more than if you're always just like, hey, you're killing it. You're killing when they're not even doing anything special. I mean, it doesn't mean as much.
I don't think I'm advocating for calling out things that aren't actively positive, but not just glossing over the small things that are important, not empty. You know, they got to do something cool, but lower that threshold just enough to where they hear it more often.
Yeah,
And
Walt Disney, he was a savage. I'm not even near like that. Steve Jobs, he was fucking ruthless too. I'm not trying to be like any of them. Trying to, but yeah, you gotta show them that you care. I feel like that's the most important thing. You care about them, what's going on in their lives. You got to build a relationship with them where they want to be friends with you. They want to hang out with you, and like they don't want to leave. And they're just like, hey, let me clock out. Like, what else can I do? What can I do? You don't even have to pay me. Like, what do you want me to do? I mean, you got to build a relationship with them, show them that you love them. Every time before they leave, they're always like, love you, boss, love you. I'm like, love you too.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, employees are definitely, they're your biggest expense, and they're gonna end up to be your biggest headache as well. It just is what it is. But they're also the most important part of the entire equation. You know what I mean? You just can't do everything. You're capable of doing anything, but you're not capable of doing everything. So the better you treat them, or and this is right. I was in management for 16 years before I left to go to entrepreneur land. And one of my weaknesses was historically not giving enough praise. Like, it is something I have to be conscious of in order to do it enough. And I probably still don't do it as often enough. And it's probably always too small. But I've noticed over the years that my employees, my good employees, will pick up on the cues. And so I'll be like, bro, you're a legend, man. Love you. And like, it's like super quick. It's not some big laid out, drawn out thing, but they start to be able to read my personality to where they know that little thing that I said, great job. You did great today. Thank you so much for what you do, man. I couldn't do without you. Like, that little teeny thing means the world. And it's just something that I'm not comfortable expressing. I think, I don't really know. But over the years, as I made a point to be positive and find positivity that can be given to them, even when it's not my natural state, not that I'm a negative guy, but even when it's not my natural state, the engagement, right? That's I think the word that defines most what happens well is the engagement level of that person goes, it just instantly goes to what Alex said. It's like you put the marble line went a little bit higher, right? And it's an important part of the equation for sure. If you want to build a strong team that's not going to have turnover, that can go do the special things that you want to accomplish, that's just something that you have to do, and you have to put it in the forward of consciousness to make it happen.
Being like grateful is a muscle that you have to build. And at first, you have to be conscious about finding those things that you are grateful that that person did. And then it becomes unconscious. It becomes a habit. You are literally looking for things that that person did without realizing it, and just being like, wow, like that impressed me that you said that, or that was awesome, or give me a high five, like great job. And doing it in front of others is even more important, because it shows the entire team that we recognize this behavior. And I'm also a psychology degree major that I don't get to practice. So high five to Jared.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'll do. So I like kind of just my personality. I like to innovate things. Like just go to the YouTube channel. You watch me do all sorts of goofy shit that nobody's ever done it that way before, because that's right. It's my personality. So whenever one of my guys has an idea that turns out to be great, like I'm always open to their ideas. I'll never shut them down. But then if they have one that we implement at our monthly meeting, I try to talk it up and like make it a big deal. You know what I mean? Like shout out to, Tyler. It was his idea to fold the pool in half. He unrolled a new unit and it was whatever. But so we started folding the pool in half, and everybody's like, oh, dude, that's way easier to roll, especially a big slide. For whatever reason, folding the pool in half, right? So boom, shout out to him. If my guys were on this thing, they'd be killing me, because there's way more examples that I'm not thinking of off the top of my head. But
we had our monthly meeting yesterday, and I have one guy. We do gift cards for like the best picture of the month, and this guy won, and he's actually naturally gifted in picture taking. And I've learned to, like, every time he does like an amazing picture, I'm like, dude, like you're killing it. Like you should have been a photographer, like you could make lots of money doing this. Like this is like money shot, money shot, money shot. Like, dude, like you're making it rain here, like really pumping him up. And I'm telling you, he gets on the ground, rolls over, like edits the picture to get the money shot. And man, like my husband was telling me, he's like, babe, you should have seen him today. He was just getting every angle. And like, it's so important, not just for like them getting pumped up, but you finding out what they're really actually good at.
That's so amazing too, that you have a contest with like people who can take good pictures, because almost everyone, like I have ERS and I make them all take pictures, but they're all so horrible. I love.
Oh my gosh. Like I'm telling you, there's gotta be a photographer in your team, and you have to seek out, because I'm telling you, like the amount of pictures he's brought me, a professional photographer would be charging me $3,000. So I call it a money shot. I'm like, dude, like that's what professional photographers charge. And now with these like new phones that most people have and software programs that they have, like he literally edits these pictures.
Yeah,
it's
people
crazy.
are switching to Samsungs now.
Yeah, that's what he
I'm
has.
just
He has a Samsung.
What?
Hey, don't hate on the Samsung life.
Hey, back in the
I'm
day,
an OG, baby.
I
Samsung is where it is.
No, I used to see
great.
like back in the Facebook groups like 5-6 years ago, people would post pictures of the stuff. I'm like, oh, you have to get a Samsung. Like I can tell you have an iPhone.
I say, so y'all have the
But
green.
now, I mean, the
green
iPhone, they
text,
finally,
folks.
iPhone finally caught up though. I mean, you can take good pictures with iPhones now, so I can't hate anymore.
An iPhone could never have a stylus like this that'd be able to write.
An iPhone could never.
Alex,
iPhone could never.
To a
Oh,
tablet.
you got the flip
you're
one.
aging
Justin's got the
yourself.
flip
Stop,
one.
Alex.
I could tell you, I never in a million years thought I would need a stylus, but when you have a young kid, a stylus and the ability to just draw and stuff, my daughter loves it. Like I could literally just hand her the phone. She would draw a ton of things on the phone instead of just having her scroll around on YouTube. She's actually being creative, and I'm telling you, it's like the best thing ever.
Love it.
All crazy with the Samsungs.
Justin got that flip one though. I can't afford that one.
I do want to see that in person. I do want to see that one in person in September. That thing looks crazy.
Which one?
Your phone, the one that folds.
Oh,
in.
sorry, I had someone yelling in my ear. This thing, I'm telling you, you can like have your vent hook thing open,
You can
and
flip
then
it open.
your what am I looking for? IO on the same thing, so you can just boop 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 back and forth.
Really? Yeah, you have to show me. I'm never getting a Samsung because I just don't want to switch operating systems. But all right, so I'm on beer number 2, switching to fancy lawnmower. Anybody here from Texas drinking fancy lawnmower?
That's where I was born and raised, but not currently living.
This is like, it's legit I think it's the one beer that my wife likes. She doesn't like beer, and she'll drink a St. Arnold fancy lawnmower. All right, so David Wagner has his hand raised, so I have no idea what to do, David, other than tell you to unmute and ask your question.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can y'all hear me all right? Okay. All right, so since we're on employment, this is a little different. I want to throw a little wrench in the plan here. This is about who is there anybody else in here that's 50-50 with somebody?
Like partners?
Yeah.
We are.
Okay.
We got a partner.
Have y'all fist fight yet or kicked each other's ass or?
No, because we started the business, and he's a good friend of mine that I trained actually in my old career doing trash.
Okay.
He knows that if we fist fought, it would not be good.
Okay. Well,
he runs his stuff off my website, so it's just his inflatables and my inflatables, but it's all of my wife's and I's stuff. So it would ruin his business if he decided to do anything. But we keep it fair, you know what I mean? We don't do anything without their discussion with it, you know what I mean? We sit everybody down, and we try to be as fair as possible about everything, you know what I mean? We hear their side, they hear our side.
Yeah. Well, maybe you can give me some. I don't know if he's there. Maybe you can give me advice on this. Yeah. So the biggest thing with our 50-50 is me and my partner, we grew up together, best friends. And I knew I was starting this business. I told him, I said, you're either in or out. I've already bought everything. And he finally said he was in. And we went from 4 units as of March to now we have like 20, I think 21, 22. Obviously, you're working all the time, weekends, Saturdays, getting up 5 a.m., away from the family and stuff. We butt heads a good bit. He's more of a pencil and paper guy. I'm more of a, when the whole ERS thing or getting the website come up, he's like, oh, no, let's just write it on pen and paper and all this. And I said, no, because I'll book something, you'll book something, we'll double book it. It'll be a mess. Needless to say, we got the website and he loved it. But I mean, we butt heads on a lot of stuff, just like buying inventory and just stuff like that. And even as simple as on the weekends, we try to give each other a break and send him with somebody. And I didn't work on a Saturday, but it's like we bicker at each other. It's almost like jokingly about, oh, I have 51%, you have 49, but I feel like it's going to end in a fist fight. As much as we butt heads, I mean, we are on the same page and we have the same image, which is good, but we definitely flare each other up at sometimes. So I don't know if that's just something to do with your best friend or.
I mean, I can give some advice.
Exit plan on that, you know what I mean? So like mine, I had the business first. We had 4 units. They bought their own units. They had 7. We ended up upgrading, getting another 3 on top of ours to make it 7. So we got 14 total now. But we gave them an exit plan. So if they didn't like the business, we would either buy it from them or they could sell it out to, people on the Acknowledge group. Basically, we run it through our website, but they have full access to everything. They can see what we're bringing in. We see what they're doing. Like right now, we're on a road trip spreading ashes for about a week now, and all of our stuff's blocked off.
Okay.
They run their own equipment. I run my own equipment. If they need help, I go get them. If I need help, they come and help me. You know what I mean? We try to keep it fair as possible. They're still learning everything, just like I'm learning too myself. I learned a lot from Nick, actually, just from watching him on Facebook and stuff.
Definitely.
I just recently bought some of his straps. Awesome, by the way, I love it. But I mean, like I said, like you guys grew up together. We did too, a little bit. But I started the business first, you know what I mean? So it was his way of a second income. Like, this is my full income. His is just like an extra, you know, income for him. He eventually wants to make it where he'll be full time doing it and be able to release it from his other career. But right now he's just getting into it and he loves it. You know what I mean? He just sent me some info today and was like, what do you think? And we go over it. You know what I mean? If I don't agree with the prices or what they look like, I'm like, hey, just go check them out for yourself, because what you like, I may not like, you know, or vice versa.
And we're on the same page about a lot of that stuff. I mean, we just bought out a company, and we were both on the same page on it. But I think it's more of it's almost like the scheduling causes it, you know, issue. We don't really, and you know, sometimes we joke around and say one's doing more work than the other one, or like, you know, he's at home, he's drinking beer. The big thing is too, is all of our stuff stored at his house. So he's always home and I'm always we both work full time. And when we get off, it's like straight to his house. We're working on stuff, and it's me being away from my family, and it's his house is a fucking wreck because of our stuff. And he has to, you know, it's a number of things. But as far as the big picture is, we are actually on the same. It's not like money problems and decision problems. It's more of just the little bickering and stuff. But it feels like it adds up, because there's a couple times we've been out in the yard, like,
if you don't have money problems or decision problems, you don't really have I've had 2 other businesses where I try to partner with people, and it never works out in the end. You either got to be this guy in Phoenix where I'm at. He's like one of the top bounce house dudes. His company name is Two Dads Bounce House, but there's not 2 dads anymore. He the reason why he's so successful is because he cut his other partner out. You gotta be all in. You gotta be.
Oh, the motivation is pretty good between both of them.
I mean, when you do it with your friend, or that's why I say don't go into business with family or friends, because you just ruined your friendship. Sometimes there's going to be decisions where you're like, you want to. Sorry, my phone is ringing. But yeah, like, you're gonna have a decision. They're gonna have a decision, and y'all are not gonna agree, and shit's gonna go sour.
Right.
You can be a fucking savage like Matt from Two Dads Bounce House and just cut the other person off.
But that's the thing. I don't think I would. Honestly, we wouldn't have made it without it, because that's the thing. I'm glad I started 50-50 with someone, because this is a tough business, and the route we went, it was definitely tough. I mean, I watched every video from Nick, and I've already told him this. Like, that's what motivated me to even make the jump. But my props, like, I'm super impressed with him. The fact that he can go out and do this solo. I know he started with smaller units and stuff, but like, there's some days I get out there, I'm like, if I didn't have anybody here to help me, I would have just probably killed over dead and just gave up.
Heck,
I mean, because it is tough. I mean,
so you guys compliment each other.
Oh yeah,
it's a good team.
But like, we just got the you know, the electric dolly and all that stuff, and that makes like, you know, we argue about the electric dolly too, but it's whoever's got the 30-foot slide, whoever's got the 30-foot tall slide's taking that electric dolly. I don't care, you know. That's the rules for now until we buy another one. But it is, I mean, we butt heads about just the dumbest stuff too, like you know, just someone will take both hammers.
It's good that it's not serious though.
Yeah. And there's something that I have a suggestion for. So with our business partner, because I'm somebody who, I have to be really fair. I run multiple businesses. So when I, you know, like, come up with a business plan, I see everything A to Z, including that exit plan, which is what my husband was talking about. So, you know, we already have that set in place. But another thing that we did is we were, you know, slightly confused on the storage part. So since he has units and, you know, we have units, we were able to split them in half. And that might even be something that you could do if you had room for like a small shed on your property or something, that you say, okay, I have, you know, say you have 8 inflatables, you know, I take 4, you take 4. When those 4 go out, those are the ones I'm delivering. When it comes to that 30-foot slide, I imagine you guys are doing that together because that's like ours. So we need people on that one. That one's just the killer. But go out and each one of you get the electric dolly, you know, so that you have your own equipment and stuff, because when it comes down to it, if you guys do happen to break apart and the business, you know, goes to hell, then you guys can go off on your own and start your business and already have everything there and ready. So it's just splitting it like right down the middle. Like you have yours, he has his.
Separating the
Yeah,
website.
just, you know, separating it. But that's how we do it, is so when obviously we all have access to the website. So when the searches are coming in, we go, okay, all right, so these are my inflatables. So like for the past 2 weekends, we actually haven't had any go out. We eventually did block them off so that we could do this trip, and they're back in Florida and they're killing it and working. So it works out perfect because they just take care of theirs. We just take care of ours. Right. And I think it really helps just kind of alleviate some stress because you're kind of working on your own terms. But I do understand where you're kind of doing more of the website marketing. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, a lot of the tech stuff, I'm pretty stupid when it comes to it. But I mean, I did a lot. I do all the marketing. I set up the website. I try to. I mean, it's in shambles, but I'm going to wait until off season. But I'll be honest, I don't think it'll ever go to that point. I think we're like this weekend, he's going on vacation, and I already have the best thing. And this is just some advice for people. I don't know if they're looking for help. The best advice I've ever found is I have a friend that's a male school teacher. Dude, he roped up more help for me than I could ever find. He could literally, they're bored at home. They're doing nothing off for the summer, which they're about to go back to school now. But he called up like 5 guys one day, and they're like, there they are. I was like, wow, like, oh, dude, we're just sitting out. They don't care what we pay them, which we pay them good, but they're just like, we're here. Give us something to do. You know, our wives are home with the kids. Get us out of the house. Like, we're here to help. But you know, that was huge for us. And they're, like I said, they're working for us this weekend, and we're both, you know, off, but I kind of watch over everything. But yeah, I mean,
good thing going, you know, just keep that communication up. You know, if you feel like, hey, I'm doing a little bit more and I, you know, need him to step up a little bit, just talk about it. You know, everything in life is, you know, you process it in the moment, talk about it in the moment, and you should be good. And then there's other strategies that you could do to try to like alleviate anything if it goes on. But try to not use the fist because those never work.
Well, thank you for the advice for sure.
The call, you know, that's what we were talking about.
That's gold.
But
because it's awesome.
Right. But we are pretty we're pretty understanding with each other. It's just like we bicker. We grew up together, we fought as kids. I mean, but the good thing is the ambition and the image on the business is we're so eye to eye, which I think that's the big thing. And as far as like money, we might have took maybe $300 out of the business each. And so it's not like he's stealing money or I'm stealing money, you know. So I guess that's something to be grateful for, because the vision is always the hard part. A lot of people don't see eye to eye on stuff like that. So, I mean, I guess that's the one good thing.
I think it's amazing that I feel like you guys are doing amazing. And if you don't have money issues or decision issues, then there's no problems. But eventually, the more you grow and money you make, those issues will start to come up. But if you don't have them now, don't worry about it.
I mean,
all that little stuff, it don't matter.
We've already, gotten in the works of, as of next year, if everything goes as well, we want to plan to try to even just take out and not necessarily pay herself, but pay herself in a way to where it covers our mortgages. It's something as simple as that, like some type of reward off of it. But we did agree, like this year, first year open, don't take anything, just reinvest until we feel comfortable at a size that we don't want to grow anymore. So we're going to go to IAPA this year, see what we see. Might buy more, might not. We just not really sure, but that's something I'm pretty excited about. I've never been, so.
You probably won't stop buying.
I know. I mean, that's the thing. I know.
No.
I mean, like I said, we have unlimited, and I know this is hard to say because a lot of people, I've heard people, I try to help everybody, because I'll say this, like, I would have never jumped into the business without obviously all the advice. I mean, even the Facebook pages and stuff. So I tell everybody, ask me a question. If I don't know the question, if I don't know the answer, I'll try to help you. But like, that was the biggest thing for me. And I feel like that alone is just, that pushed us to get started. And I don't know, like I said, I don't know if we'll ever quit growing, but I forgot what I was gonna say now. I just went blank. Maybe it was the beer. It's the beer, but no. I mean, like we find new stuff that people are interested in, and we just keep buying. And
well, I can tell you. So I did have a moving who I was in partner with somebody. Started manufacturing dollies, making the dolly winches. You guys probably don't own them, or you would know me, but it never works out in the end. I mean, you can call me being like super negative or glass half empty type of person, but in the end, it doesn't work out. But the way that you're talking about this, your partner or whatever, I feel like you guys are like, you have something good going, and just keep going with it, and don't worry about the little small stuff.
Yeah. I definitely think we're blessed. I mean, everything fell in our laps. I mean, we kind of just took the jump and, and just did it because like we don't know what we're doing. I mean, in a sense we do, but it was just like everyone's the same too. Your first setup, you're like, you learn. And the biggest way to learn is from a mistake. And we've been out of the setup, I mean, and learned our biggest mistakes from just being out there. And I mean, that's the biggest thing for us is we try to teach these guys that are helping us, like, you're going to run into mistakes. We went out Saturday. I mean, we had somebody set up 6 slides for us on a Friday. One of them we had to go move, and they learned from it. I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, like I said, for the most part, I think it's not really as bad as what I think it is. I think we just butt heads on the smaller things, and the bigger things, I guess, are the money and stuff, which we actually see eye to eye on. So I'm kind of
I would say, dude, go out for coffee or go out for beers and hash it out in a healthy environment. And the other thing that I would say to do is get some, agreement on maybe some big, I have no partnerships. I have no partnerships. Whatever my next business I end up opening will have to be a partnership because like I don't got enough me to go around. So this is just stuff I think about, but get on the big topic items, you know what I mean? Just get a whether you guys are rules people. So the rule is, dude, the rolls all goes with the 30-foot slide.
Yeah.
And then you cheers, whatever. And then just divvy up, whatever parts of the business you guys are best at or enjoy the most. Give that piece of the business to that person. And then you guys kind of got a fist bump and tell each other you trust the other person. And, for me, it would come down to I trust you. Please just don't think I'm being a dick when I ask a follow-up question about a decision you made that either I don't understand or I don't agree with. It doesn't mean I'm being rude. It just means I just want a little more clarification on what your thought process is so I can see your side of the coin. But just, it's a marriage, dude. That's all it is.
Right.
The higher the level of communication, dude, the better the relationship is going to be, straight up.
I think once we get a centralized location too, it'll be a little different. I think it'll work better too.
Bro,
we're trying to find
we'll change.
I think it shouldn't be a competition between you two, like who's working harder, who's doing it. It should be a relationship where you guys are both building each other up. Y'all are growing together, expanding together, and it shouldn't be like, hey, you're not doing this, and the other person's like, you're not working as hard or doing all that little bickering and stuff.
Oh, it adds up. I mean, as much as we joke about it, it's almost like you kind of inside are just like, I'm gonna kick his ass, like, and I catch myself doing that. I'm like, I'm gonna do it, it's one day it's gonna happen, but it's like the little bickering. That's all it is. Like it is, like I said, I'm glad it ain't nothing big like money issues, but it is the little stuff adds up. I guess.
But you could also just kick his ass too, and then take the business.
Get it over with.
Get it over with.
All right, so I'm gonna take a question from actually Instagram, and then we'll go to Justin because Justin's got his hand up. And then I do want to hit on somebody is DMing me on Zoom asking about their website's not converting, and so I'm on their website now, and I want to hit on that too, probably after Justin, but we'll see where this conversation goes. Okay, so the question I'm going to take from Instagram is from the Hideaway Bouncers. He's in every single one of these things, dude. I appreciate the hustle. So he says, how do you know if your small business is going to track to reach numbers like you are now? Assuming he's talking about numbers I'm doing, I guess. It's a good question, right? And it's a question that probably, especially if anybody wants to, intended on starting this business in order to not have a job going forward, you're looking at that bottom line like a hawk because you want to get the hell out of your plant job or being a police officer or whatever it is you want to get out of. So it's a good question. What I would tell you is, I'm not going to go over, the financials of the jump off in detail right now. But what you want to see, so in the early days, you want to track revenue per weekend. Okay. And if you're a pencil and paper, old school, you hate technology, make a freaking spreadsheet on graph paper and track your sales weekly. If you are tech savvy, make one that tracks it weekly on a spreadsheet, way freaking easier in Excel, or I actually use numbers on Mac. But if you're super savvy and you can track it by day, it's even better because you can see trends that are going to come up next year, such as school events, where all of a sudden you have all these weekday events, whatever. But in the early days, prior to going 1 year as a business, you're basically going to be comparing week over week. Okay. And you want to see, it's like the stock market, your investments, you want to see doing this. Now, yeah, within that graph, obviously it's going to do this. You're not going to make more every single week, but you want to be on a track that's like this and you can just watch the money. Once you make a year, okay, and this is from my retail background, but once you make a year, you want to be beating last year. I want to beat last year's month. I want to beat last year's week. And then I go look at last year's day sometimes in the busy season. So in Louisiana, school lets out kind of early. We let out in May, and the weather is beautiful in May. It's like San Diego here. So we rent bounce houses dry and we rent water slides wet. So May's our biggest month. So I want to crush May. And then September kind of has the same feel. You just don't have the graduation, so it's not as busy, but it's got the same weather aspect to it. So I want to crush September because those are my two biggest months. So as long as I know I'm tracking to beat those, then I know I'm in a good place. And I track it by percentage. The percentages this year minus last year divided by last year gives you the percent you're up on the year. And I want that number to be as big as possible, but I want to keep it as big as possible. So I hope that answers your question. Hideaway Bouncers. I forget your real name, Hideaway Bouncers, but I know it because you DM me all the time. All right, I got some other good ones.
I think it's Christian. I think his name's Christian.
Christian, it is Christian. It is. Thank you. All right, I got some other good questions in the chat we'll get to, but Justin wants to go. So Justin, what you got, brother?
So mine was going to be, I just canceled my Facebook ads and I wanted to see who was still running them. Because whenever I do the drops, I'm like, how did y'all find me? And it's either my Google ads, like the top link, or it's a community post on Facebook. I've never had a single person say, oh, I saw your ad on Facebook and I booked with you. So I was like, all right, we're going to cut that. I didn't know if anyone here has gotten like a booking just straight off Facebook ads.
I actually canceled all my Facebook ads because I don't know how to do it. It's been
hard,
a lot of money spent.
Yeah.
Google ads, I'm killing it. I'm number one everywhere, even organically. But with Facebook, I don't know what to do. So
I had mine pretty dialed in on Facebook too, but again, it was a community post or it was Google ads. Like I found you on Google, so I was like, okay, that's immediately my Google ads.
Yeah, the ROI from Google has been so much better. With Facebook, it's like you spend a shit ton of money, you don't get the return. But I feel like it's just because I don't know what I'm doing with Facebook ads.
The Facebook stuff is pretty complex. Well, right, they build out the UI to be like super seamless, but the easier it is to make the ad, the crappier the ad's going to perform, the more money you're wasting, right? Because you're in their system and you're playing, with house money basically, or no, the opposite of that, right? The house is always going to win. So if you're playing by their rules with their little system, it's not going to be good, right? Now I'm halfway quoting Tariq on everything I'm about to say. Because he's the expert, right? And I've had extensive conversations with him, but my knowledge base comes from Tariq. But basically, for a Facebook ad, for it to properly index, you need to be doing retargeting, which means the person that is seeing your Facebook ad is somebody that was cookied for being on your website, right? So it's only showing your Facebook ad to someone that went to your website. And so I kind of started to look into it after my conversation with Tariq, and like, I mean, it's just not DIY. Like, there's just no time in the day to do that. So I hired EventHawk to go do all my Facebook ads. So maybe not, because you're not in the right region. But if you go to my website, Facebook might start showing you my Facebook ads. They're built by EventHawk. So I got my, let me scroll through my text with the EventHawk, because they send me my updates on them. And I ask questions. I don't know if I'm a pain in the ass to them or not, but I ask.
So Nick, you're still doing Facebook ads?
Yeah, I've got 2.
There's a right way to do it. You just have to know how to do it.
Yeah.
Okay,
The only thing I was doing was like, depending on the month, I'd put like birthdays in July, birthdays in May, birthdays in August.
Not a
And
bad
then
way
like
to do
during
it.
my age group. That's a terrible way. That was the only
It's at least a way. It's at least a way. But so they said, okay, quick update on your. So this is from July 7th. So this is a while ago. This is the last time I got a text about my Facebook ads. But they said, in the last 7 days, our ads reached 1,500 people and received 32 clicks. We're paying 1 cent per view on average. So we spent $28. So I replied back and said, do we know how many bookings came from that? And they said, in Ads Manager, they see we got 2 leads, but they don't see any direct purchases. But since the tracking updates from iOS 14, the data is not reliable. More or
That's
less.
what I was worried about.
More or less,
Yeah.
0 bookings.
More or less, EventHawk felt confident, and I don't know who I'm talking with on EventHawk, but it's one of the main ad people, right, that I'm talking to, like the people that make the ads. They are basically saying, you're flying blind. That's the way I took it. So I'm like, okay. So the way I look at it is two things. Number one, there's a booking that came from it, because somebody went to my website, got cookie, then was on Facebook and saw my ad. So of course there's somewhere at booking that is like, right, but you kind of got to let go of the wheel and just let it do its thing. The other thing is the branding aspect of that is good, right? Because a normal human being, so Logan that works for me, the other day sent to our group chat, dude, all I ever see on Instagram is freaking Facebook or is jump off ads. And I said, that's because you, at some point in time, you went to our website. And so then you're cookied, and now it's just trying to show you, right? And so there's a branding aspect to that where the person's like, what the dude, all I see is jump off ads, because I went over there, I went to that website once, or they maybe not even remember, but they know it's on their consciousness. And so I've decided that I'm just going to kind of ghost ride and let it go the rest of the year. The rest of the season, at least probably through September. After September, it doesn't make any sense for me to be advertising, spending that kind of money advertising. But by and large, to do it right, you got to do retargeting, which is super complex, and then you're kind of flying blind. So if you want my advice, I would not stress it on Facebook ads unless you got money to kind of throw at branding, so to speak. You know what I mean? Otherwise, just like Josh said, Google over indexes like crazy.
My Google right now is killing it. Every weekend since I started dialing it in with Tariq's video on how to actually do the Google ads. He didn't share all the secrets, but it was enough to where now I'm booked out every weekend. Like every weekend is just consistently bang, bang,
There's
bang.
actually
And then
people killing it with Facebook ads, though.
I don't get it.
I don't know how to do it, and I know EventHawk is so amazing, and Tariq's amazing, but they don't know the skills of these people who are just killing it. Because I mean, you see it in the Facebook groups where people who are getting almost all their customers from Facebook stuff.
I don't know if that's the truth. I don't know if it is off of people that only visit your site though, because I have people that I know would have no interest in going to my website and just locally, because I know a lot of people, and they're like, dude, when you run an ad, it's literally all I see on Facebook and Instagram. So
Are
I mean,
you
it
running
could be
them,
true.
or is it
I so but I am before
Gotcha.
Google Ads, before I did the Event Hawks with the Google Ads, I only ran Facebook ads, and I would run like, I would run $100-$200 a week. And well, the first couple of weeks I was really stupid, and I ran it for the whole United States, which somebody from Texas finally told me, "Hey, bud, you're spending a lot of money to be advertising in Texas."
Thank you, that guy in
like,
Texas. I do that
yes.
every time. I click on it and I'm like, Atlanta, and I reply
Yeah.
like, "Hey, yo," right? And a lot of times they know who I am. They're like, "What the fuck? You're the YouTube guy."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah, I see your shit down in New Orleans. Go fix it, dude."
So that was number one. I set my range, but no, I had like great, like my business, whatever they call the little app or whatever. I still get a ton of messages. Like I just run an ad. It's been a long time, but I run a Facebook ad. I did 2 of them actually, both at $100 for one for 3 days, one for 5 days. And I've gotten like maybe 8 people message me just on Facebook. So I did one with send message, one with interaction. Because I do a lot of my Facebook, I feel like does more of you get your brand and getting your name out or whatever to your local people. But I mean, don't get me wrong, the whole thing with the Google ads is just with Event Hawk is way, way higher. But I still get a lot of people when I see them just randomly, man, all I see is aired up, Instagram, Facebook ads and stuff. That's all I see. Is like I could close the app, open it back up, and I'd see it again. So
Yeah, but are they spending money with you? That's like the most.
no, that's
thing.
what I'm saying. I don't think they've ever been on my website. That's why I say I don't know if that's based off of that, because
that's just how Event Hawk does it. So Event Hawk goes and builds the ads to be retargeting ads to where Event Hawk tells, So and that's the part that's super, it's super complex to set that up. You know what I mean? So not easy, but in general, so this is the Facebook advice I give everybody, right? And I know this is taboo or frowned upon, and I don't give a shit because I believe in it so much. I preach it. If you're gonna run an ad, just don't boost a post. You're just wasting money if you boost a post. But just go make an ad that you think is gonna look good. It, like I said, it's good for branding and it's not that expensive. Okay. Then go live your life in Marketplace. Go live in Marketplace. I
get so much from Marketplace, actually.
Dude, I built the jump off in Marketplace. And the thing that everybody complains about, right? It's not the customers you want, or it's poor people or whatever. And I'm just like, dude, y'all can be as prejudiced as you want. I'm not prejudiced, especially when it comes to clients, dude. A lead is a lead. A lead is a lead. And freaking Facebook Marketplace is free. And so then I wish I could show you guys one of mine. But and I don't live
what
there
price
anymore.
range do you have it set at?
My prices are the right
mine
prices.
Are free.
Yeah, my prices are I put the right prices. The thing is 305. I put it for 305. I'm on there like, and that's kind of what I was like when I I went all in on Marketplace. I did my own research, but like I did research. I did A/B testing, like kind of taking notes on, in my journal, but I did as much as I could to figure out what did well. And I was like, dude, the more honest and straightforward I am, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 slides for rent. That's going to give you the guy that's going to stiff you. But you make a brilliant picture, the actual price, and then I'm going to see, I don't know if the camera will show my phone or not. And these are old. I don't update them like I used to. I used to update them weekly.
You haven't been banned from Facebook Marketplace at all?
No, it's so weird. People tell me that they can't.
I have 3 Facebook accounts because I kept getting banned.
Yeah, I don't know. I still have them all on there. But so let's see if this will go away. No. Okay.
They're listening, Nick. Watch out.
Oh, it's gonna be backwards too. Damn it.
No, it's right. It's right.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, we can read it.
Yeah. So basically, I tried it. I send them to the website. I tell them all the information, and then I can't read it on my screen because it's backwards. But I try to be as engaging as possible, and then I have in there where I say, if you need help, please let us know which unit you'd like to book, and we'll book it for you. Just hit that "Is this available?" button. Trying to communicate to them, I want your business any way you'll give it to me. Then I've got our Facebook page. I've got the phone number. Thanks. And then
you would get.
Do you have that linked in with your?
In Arizona and Phoenix, you get banned right away because there's so many people over here who are just ready to report stuff like that. I literally had to make I had to make 2 more accounts from my main Facebook because they got, if you post anything on Facebook Marketplace, everyone's reporting it. You getting banned.
I don't know. It's like that here, and I've had people tell me that they can't post on Marketplace. I'm like, dog, there would be no jump off. But I'm gonna see if I
I
can
mean,
send this.
I started with OfferUp in Facebook Marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
That's one I haven't played on is OfferUp. I should probably do
I
that.
started with
No.
OfferUp, and what was the other one was around? They weren't even one company. There was
Let Go.
OfferUp
I
and
think
Let
it was
Go.
Let Go. Yeah,
Yeah.
Let
Let
Go.
go.
I remember when they were separate companies when I started.
Yeah,
The biggest thing on Marketplace is don't put a zero there. Then you're just gonna get like the worst customers and the worst attitudes. Like actually put the price of the unit and just go off that.
See, I haven't had that problem. Maybe it's because my area, but the free thing, my bounce house listings on Marketplace, they don't seem to get much interaction. But that margarita machine, I get so many just DMs on that so often for my margarita machine, and I'm priced pretty high for my area.
Is
Alright,
that terrible to clean?
Nonstop.
I put that
Huh?
description in the chat, by the way. If you guys want to see it.
Nick, does that link in with your Facebook Messenger? Does that link in with your event hawk so you can just take it over from there?
And no, I don't know if that's
You
even a
need
thing.
to. That is a thing.
Oh, is it? Because I
You
have
can get your
the jump off Facebook Messenger does for sure.
yeah,
Well-
that's what I'm saying. Like my Leap Wild one, whenever they click on that margarita machine, it's automatically in event hawk and it just does its thing. And
Mine's so old, and so before I left my job, I had all sorts of cockamamie ideas to be an entrepreneur, and so I started all sorts of goofy different pages, and my Facebook, like behind the scenes Facebook, there's pixels everywhere. It's a freaking mess, dude.
jump off
So
fan page.
There's a bro. It's bad. It's bad because I used to be a blogger, and so I was trying to like figure out how to do some Tim Ferriss shit. It was bad, dude. And so it's like all that back end stuff is so messed up that it's like it's hard. I could do it, obviously. It just the time suck is like, I think I'll wait. All right, let's see if we can get another.
So Nick,
Janice
I've been hesitant on getting event hawks. Tell me on why
Bro,
I should
do
get
it.
event hawks.
do it.
100%.
One rental, it's paid for.
It's
for that month.
insane.
Yeah, so
Ever since
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Nick.
I did
Someone sell me.
the free month, and I feel like people were like, where they did promotions where they're like, oh, everyone go post about us because it just seemed like that way. And then I did the free month with them, and my partner was 100% against it. This is one of the scenarios, and I was like, nah, like let's just try a free month. You know, our Google ads off of their free video, which I've been sending him some pictures. It was like insane. I mean,
Right. That's
we
what
were
I'm
paying like $6 per rental we got through it, and I'll tell you this, I get, compared to the Facebook messages on the Event Hawk thing, you'd be surprised, and that was my biggest issue with inventory. That's why we bought so much so quick. I was getting and Google Ads made me realize that they helped me set up. I was getting so many people visit my site. It was insane, but I didn't have the inventory. So my turnover rate wasn't good. And I was like, I have to get more inventory. Now, dude, I get, and the messaging setup the messenger that they use, the way you can connect with your customers. And I'm guilty of it. I haven't took the time to actually learn it besides just messaging people back and forth, like the turnovers and all that stuff. And I need to learn it, but it's so easy to get in contact with a customer, and you'd be surprised on how many people, if I just say, hey, look, get on the website, check it out. If you see something you're interested in, all you have to do is put a $60 deposit. It's like almost every time someone will just, oh, okay, $60 for now. Let me go ahead and book it. That's the biggest thing that he pushed to me was, if you can get in contact with the customer and just put your word in their ear, like, hey, $60, you can go ahead and book it, pay it whenever before your rental. That was the biggest thing, was just getting to the customer to be able to conversate with them. But
like,
I mean,
so what if you're already doing that and not paying anybody?
So this
Good
is what
for
I'll tell
you.
you.
This
is what Nick. So the if you're talking about Event Hawk from the pop-up standpoint, so basically what it is, when they visit your website, the average person is going to be kind of lost or clueless or not knowing what they're doing or not know where to go. That little thing pops in and then it says, here's your coupon, whatever. So they're gonna be like, oh shit, a coupon. They click on it, they fill out the information, and then 5 minutes later, Event Hawks, the system automatically sends them a text message that says, hey, I saw you were on the site looking for stuff. I wanted to know what's the date of your party. And so basically all you get from Event Hawk all day long is August 6th, September 23rd.
Yeah.
You just get dates. And so basically, once you start conversating with people, you start replying back the same exact thing, and you can save these templates or whatever. But so I always say, that's awesome. Did you see what slide is your favorite slide? Right? You ask them a question back to get them to engage, and then you start the conversation with them. And like Justin was just saying, or David was just saying, once you start that conversation with them, they're gonna book with you. They're gonna book with anybody. It does make your life a little more labor intensive, a little more communication that goes through, but you can close those leads. So basically those leads are coming to your site, then they're coming to you through the Event Hawk pop-up. From a Google Ads standpoint, so I started Event Hawk and Google Ads at the same time. They just know what they're freaking doing, and their Google Ads convert like crazy. They're targeted correctly. They're just perfectly made to where it's going to drive traffic to your website. And when that traffic gets to your website, the pop-up pops in, and then the whole thing starts. So basically,
so
go ahead.
Wait, no, continue. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I'm good. I'm done.
So there's a lot of people who hate pop-ups. Like as soon as something pops up on anything, they're like, "Oh, I fucking hate pops-up." Like it's literally the worst thing. If I'm going to any website, pop-ups are the worst. And they're like, actually, fuck this company because like they keep popping up. There's too many pop-ups. And
So I
had an ex-girlfriend who was like that, because I was like, hey, go to the competitor's website. And it's like, there's so many. No, it's popping up. Even when I went to your website where you're selling these straps, like I was trying to click on, just look at every single different product, and every single time this big pop-up came up when it was blocking where I couldn't even read the text. I feel like
you got to remember, you're not your customer. You're not your customer. For every 3 people that hate it, there's going to be 7 more that will click it, fill it out, and then
exactly
that's a card.
Yeah. Exactly. That's
you're not your customer.
100% true.
I've had one person that sent me all exclamation point stop with a bunch of, but that's it. But that's the thing though. I think and I'm not, not mean this in a bad way, but it's men hate it. But I'll tell you this, most of the people that book with me are women. Like they'll put their name and number first, and they love that stuff. Like
coupon, baby.
This coupon, and I had an issue with this at first with ERS, which was funny because me and my partner, we would like go to call somebody about the rental, and it ask you for 2 phone numbers. Well, the first number would always be the secondary number, and we would always call the one on top, and it would be the husband, like, who is this? Like, why are you asking for my wife? Oh, we're the rental company, But then we figured it out. We call the second number now, but it's like all the people that book with us are,
yeah.
Hey, honey, can I get a slide for the kids? Yeah, here's the card. Go ahead.
Justin's 100% right though. Like, there might be one person who doesn't like it, but there's 10 who do.
And you got to think it's the same thing with Google ads, man. It's the same thing. I never in my life have I clicked on a Google ad. The top link, I normally scroll down.
Yeah, you go organic stuff.
I get so many bookings off Google ads, and I've never clicked on one in my life.
Same.
We use Event Hawk just to help screen through some of the phone calls, because people would call in all the time like, hey, how much does insurance cost? And if they can go to the website and you can give them a template, like here's the minimums. You can get rid of like 50% of the people just because they're like, oh, I thought it was going to be $500 for the year for insurance. You're like, no, that's not the case. And obviously, because we'd have people all the time, they'd fill out the full application, send in all this information. And they're like, oh, I'm only going to make $2,000 a year in sales. You're like, man, I wish you would have just let me know that. I would have told you, like, it's probably not worth your time to go ahead and fill out an application. But that was the biggest thing we had it for, was because it was just all the, we call them looky-loos, right? Like people just want to get into the industry. They have no idea what they're doing. They just want to know how much it's going to cost. Can I get a quick estimate? I don't want a quote. I just want a quick estimate, because to get a quote, there's a lot of formalities to it. So that was what we used it for.
Casio is like amazing. I've had a lot of actual personal conversations with the owner of it. It was sad to see him like where he was like stepping down and stuff, but it's still going strong because he's got someone in here who's representing.
Appreciate that, man. I'm sorry, it's not the same as my dad, but you know,
Oh, is that your
I'm doing my
dad?
best.
No, I love your dad. Your dad's such a fucking amazing guy. Like he would talk to me because he'd be like, how much you make this year? And I would tell him, he's like, you're killing it. It's only been 2 years and you're making this much. And he inspired me. Your dad is an amazing man. If you didn't know, I didn't know that. Yeah, you're.
Oh, that was an audit. He was just filling you out.
Amazing
no,
sales.
the sad thing is I switched to Friedman. Well, as soon as he was like stepping down, I switched. Because
So who
I
doesn't
felt like-
have Event Talk on here?
I don't.
Ooh,
You don't?
dirty.
Oh, like, okay, so Event Talk is kind of like building a relationship from the very beginning. You know what I mean? Like you walk into a store like that you've never been before, and you have literally no idea like what you're looking for. Like, do I go aisle this way or this aisle? There's like 52 aisles. Like there's so much. And like for us, we have a website that we like to say it converts sales, but if you've never even booked on our website, like it can be overwhelming. And so it's easier to be like, hey, how can I help you? Can I get your name and email so I could contact you? And it's so much easier to be like, yeah, can you help me out here? And so you capture that data from that customer and then follow up if they need help. And then on top of that, like what Casio is saying, like feel them out, see if you could help them, like lead them out the door if you can't. But that data that you captured, it will be useful for you 5-10 years down the road. Because you know what? Now Casio has your information and you may be making $2,000 this year, but guess what? In 5 years, you might need Casio again. Casio may reach out to you and be like, hey, you reached out to us last year. How's your business going? Like, can I help you? Do you have an insurance provider? Are you looking for a quote? If you don't capture that data, like you're missing a major part of your growth in the future.
And it's easy
It's
because
just
you can send out a mass text if you want to.
Yeah.
You can be like,
Mhm.
hey,
Uh-huh.
everybody in here, you know, if they're not an active customer or something, like Anaya's saying, like, yeah, you
But-
can absolutely send out the text to everybody, like, hey, how's everything going?
But see, I have event rental system where it already pretty much does all that stuff.
Yeah,
I
another
have
thing-
event rental systems and I love ERS. I love my website. I have Facebook ads through ERS. I have SEO through ERS, but Event Hawk and the way they use it and the way that their team is
But
on a whole other level. Like,
because you can
you're-
use talk.to.
yeah,
and do
it's
the-
not
do
the
the
same
same
thing because like Event Hawk, like Tariq literally mastered the way to make that sale and capture that data. And like he did all of those tests to make sure that it works. And Event Hawk or ERS hasn't gotten to that level yet. It may at some point, but not yet.
I'll
So
be
if
honest,
if I get Event Hawk, how is it gonna help my business?
So
I just told you, you're
tell
capturing
you-
data of your customers.
I'll tell you what
Yeah.
happened. Yeah, I'll tell you what happened to me. So I was going into the season and we were already way busier than last year. A little bit more inventory, not a ton, like 5 more slides than last year. I got Event Hawk and Google Ads all at the same time. And I was like ready to rip. right? I told my wife this would be a good year. Like, we'll be able to reinvest more because I don't got to, spend a bunch on infrastructure. I got the dollies I need. I got the trailers I need. And not joking, within 2 weeks, I had 2 of my guys driving their own truck and their own trailer because my trailers weren't big enough. I had to go buy another dolly, 2 16-foot trailers. And then I moved into the warehouse, and then we were booked out. I was utterly shocked because I don't live in a big area. Shocked. And so I bought 5 more slides, just reinvest like crazy. But I mean, I had to go buy I bought a Jeep for my wife so I could steal her Armada when I needed it. So I bought 2 more trailers, a truck, a dolly, and 5 more slides. And coming up this weekend, I've got 2 slides available, but August 6th, I got nothing. I had a customer today that called me for a slide. I said, I got combos. That's all I got.
You, Josh, so you're not like on like Event Talk members only
No.
Facebook group?
Jana keeps trying to sell it to me, and Nick does, but
I'm telling you right now,
Justin's gonna try his
being
best.
on that Facebook group, being on that Facebook group is in and of itself its own value. Like, they coach you and give you ideas that like you would have never otherwise thought of, or had to pay a business coach hundreds of dollars to tell you. And like, it's stuff that's like just genius. Like, I mean,
this is what I've been waiting for, because I live my whole life. It's you're either selling or you're being sold. It's like sell or be sold, and I'm just waiting for someone to actually sell it to me.
The thing is too is their text message. You interact with them the same way that customers interact with you. So to be honest with you too, it's crazy how fast it is. They have their text, like he was showing you earlier, where they text back and forth. You can ask them a question, and it could even probably be business related, and they would even help you. And it's quick. Like it's the customer service for me alone was worth it, because I could call the number, and if they send me to that text message, it's instant. And then I text back, and it's not like you're waiting for a reply. Like they have somebody on that text ready.
Yeah,
like
I agree.
they answer you
Don't
right
forget
away.
about the reviews.
Yeah.
That
Oh my
automated
gosh.
text
Yes.
for
There you go,
reviews.
Justin.
Woo! I went
There.
from 2 5-star reviews. It's not crazy. Okay, just keep this in mind. We started in March. I'm now at 13 5-star reviews.
But that's
so
way better than 2, though. That's way better. It's hard to get
That's
reviews.
how
Right,
you
it
sell
was
stuff,
hard.
It is
Justin.
so
That's
hard.
what I care
Gosh,
about.
how many?
I took Nick's that I don't know, he had some long YouTube video, and I never watch really long YouTube videos, maybe 5 minutes max. I watched the whole thing. It was all his marketing, the marketing video. I copied and pasted the entire thing. As soon as Event Hawk went in, bang, they keep coming in. Like I think 5 minutes ago I got another one.
And it's
They're
nice
just
to know
all
too.
automated. It's nice.
Google Ads might show you, oh, this many people visit your website, but when you actually see someone message you, that's I know it's a real person from Google Ads too. But when you get the interaction with a person through Event Hawk, that alone is like, man, it's real. Like what? And it made me think, because my website sucks. I'm gonna be straight up with you, it's terrible. But I haven't had the time. I'm gonna wait till off season to make a bunch of changes. I'm scared to go in and make a bunch of changes. But like, that boosted me to realize, like, there are so many people in visiting my website, and if you're not getting booked completely out, then that tells you, okay, well, if there really are people, 10 people a day message me, what is holding me back, and I looked at it. I got bookings just be able to conversate with people, and just because you'll be surprised how many people are just oblivious to. You gotta go to your website and they look at it and they're just so overwhelmed by all they really needed was someone to hold their hand through the website.
Oh yeah,
And it's
Right.
100% true.
Josh.
I've had people just ask the craziest questions, and I just tell them it's as simple as, no, just pay the $60 a day. As simple as that, and they book. And I had a woman the other day ask me, it's asking for my credit card information first. It's gonna make me pay the whole amount. I said, no, ma'am, it's not. It's gonna let you do a custom amount or just your deposit. It was as simple as that. And that little thing could have run her away, because she was afraid it was going to charge her the full, let's say $350 for the rental. But with me giving her the peace of mind of saying, hey, no, ma'am, like, this is only going to charge you 60. And if it does anything different, I will take care of it myself through the messenger. But you could have done it through like a incomplete. You can do it through incomplete, but to be honest with you, at this point, as busy as I am, I should, but I don't really go back on incompletes. If they don't message me on the Event Hawk app, then I don't think they're that serious, because obviously if someone's going to book, they're going to see $20 off. Sure. Yeah, I'll take that. So that's bad.
I tested that. It's called something different in Inflatable Office, but I started texting them immediately when I noticed it. Way higher close rate, dude.
Really? Yeah, I should start doing
if you wait, like you get that initial quote, jump on it. Like I've just let it go by. I'll text them a day back. Oh, sorry, I've already booked with someone else. When I started immediately, like it doesn't matter. They're on my website at 10:30 at night. I'm texting them. They're there. I'm here. Okay. How can I help you? And then by the end of it, I've now got my deposit. I've got their card information. I have their email, their phone number, their address. I have everything. And it's a booking. Done.
Yeah.
Don't wait. Don't wait like normal business hours, because your competitor's not doing the same thing.
You can do it all for free without paying Event Hawk. But what's your question? Because you keep saying
okay, so how many Google reviews do you have right now?
There's 314 or 15. I got
that's actually really good.
Yeah.
How do you get those?
I give every time one of my employees gets a 5-star review, I give them $20 extra. So they try real hard.
That's actually Tariq does that too.
With ERS, like I have it emails them to like 2 days after their event. It text messages them automatically 1 day after the event. And it's like, hey, you're a VIP customer. You're like one of our favorite customers. If you leave us this review, like on your next rental, we'll give you $20 off. And it's been working.
Event Hawk, yo.
Have you?
No Event Hawk. Yeah.
Get a Event Hawk. You're at the point where $97. Come on, man.
Yeah, if you're killing like that, try it for 2 or 3 months, and if it's annoying, just cancel it.
No, I mean, the thing is that ERS has that, and like I've talked to them, and like one thing that I have had to consider is the fact that it's all integrated into the website already, which is really, really nice. But like I am gonna give testimony to what they said, is that the customer service for Event Hawk is definitely there. Like no matter who you are, no matter how much you're paying, no matter if you're a big dog or just starting, like they respond to you with just as much respect as anybody coming in, and they do provide a lot of support, and they teach you other ways to make it work, because like obviously you're doing the Google reviews that way, that's how Event Hawk does it, but like there's other ways to use Event Hawk to streamline your processes. You know what I mean? Like on Mondays I do my 811 dig. On Wednesdays I ask if we could deliver early. On Thursday we send them out the estimated time of delivery. My guys are calling through high levels, so we have that documented, that has been put in place. On Thursday we send out the message with their estimated time, including like the video of what to expect and reminder of what not to have on the bounce house. And then on Tuesday we send out at 10 a.m. because apparently that's like an actual thing. The Google review request goes out. And so like you're learning to like streamline these things, but these are things that it could have taken you years to figure out if it wasn't for the support that the Event Hawk members group has.
Well, I think it's I mean, Justin, he literally, when he was like, when I was like, hey, sell me on this, and he's like, you get more reviews, because I'm always trying to get more reviews. But I think having you like training your guys and teaching them how to talk to the customers and getting reviews, when someone's like there face to face and like asking for reviews, not even asking for it, but just using their own little technique and strategy to get reviews, it goes a lot more than having just a text message like, hey, leave us a review. No, if the guys aren't there, I'm like, go ahead.
So a point on that, I would always, every time I dropped off, I was like, hey, it'd really help if you'd leave me like a Google review at the end, like everything's done, squared away. Oh yeah, totally. We'll leave you a Google review. I pick up. Oh, we're gonna leave you a Google review.
Yeah,
Before
everyone
Event
says
Hawk,
that.
no one would leave a Google review. Now that I've been
Hard
there a
because
month, they're starting to roll it.
link text
Yeah.
to.
Well,
The
that's
link
when
is
you say like
texted to
That
us.
link, they don't have
Tap
to even look you up no
5
more.
stars.
Scan anything. It's just the link. It pops up. Oh, so and so asked for a review. They click it. They don't even have to type. They just click the stars, press submit.
Is
Done.
that text
That's it.
message? Because I don't have that set up, but I need to really bad.
Yeah, see, that's automatically built in ERS. So that's why I'm just like,
See,
why-
I don't
why
have
would-
ERS. I'm part
I
of
don't-
IO, baby.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, why do I need Event Hawk? Because there's literally nothing that Event Hawk
It
has
sounds
to
like
offer that's not
ERS
built in
is set up
ERS.
nice. It's just the people that are doing it haven't put the time
Oh,
in
I
to
love
make it
Rob.
super nice.
Don't talk shit about Rob.
No, I'm not talking
He's-
shit. I don't
he's
even
not-
know who we're talking about, to be honest.
But like you may have access to Rob, but a lot of people starting out do not.
Yeah.
No,
I
even
think-
like even with their whole routing system, I was like, hey, it would be cool. Like once we plan out and we make this whole entire route, like it'd be so cool if we could just literally click a button and it would text all the customers the exact time that we're going to be at their house, or an hour or 2 hour window. He's like, got it done. 2 weeks later, boom, you plan the whole route out. Like Google Maps knows how long it's going to take for each inflatable to get set up, the drive time to the next inflatable, and then you literally just, once you plan the whole route, you click the button and it texts every single one's like their phone numbers. An hour window, you can make a 2 hour window.
So look,
I-
I don't know who this person is. I'm probably gonna butcher their name. It's on
Rob.
Nick's Facebook Live. I'm not even gonna say their first name, just last name Bird. I started with Event Hawk last year in February with 26 reviews. Now we have over 300. There you go.
But I mean, I think
bang.
I think what it is though is you're so established, you might not see the point in it. And props to you for being 300 plus reviews. I mean, that's huge. And I'll be honest with you, this is just my opinion, and I think it's because of my stupidity. ERS is hard to use for me. I cannot understand it. They probably blocked my number at this point because I call them so much, but it's hard. Like I'm gonna have to do something in the off season. I cannot get it figured out. My website is,
I don't know.
It's so
Inflatable
bad.
office is still pretty hard too.
But-
Whenever I first jumped into it,
It's hard. I just haven't had the
too
time.
much.
I've tried to put the time into it, but it's so frustrating. Like I have so much to do. But if you already got 300 plus Google reviews, yeah, maybe you don't see the point in using Event Hawk. But for us
No,
being
but if
new,
it could give me more, because I'm trying to get to 500, then my next goal is 1,000. So anything that can help,
Go drop it.
for
Just go
sure.
do it, bro. Just go do it.
I mean,
Josh,
I would
we're
try it.
arguing over $97 here.
to be honest, I would try it for 2 months, and if you
Is
get
it $97?
It
I
is.
would 7 if you pay the whole
That's
year
way
at one
too
time.
expensive.
Yeah,
It's only $1,000 a year.
But here's the thing,
Oh.
though. If you would you pay $10 per Google review?
I pay 20.
Okay, so pay $20 for Google review, run it for 2 months. If you don't get your quota, cancel.
Heck yeah.
Simple. I'm not, honestly, that's
20
what I would
bucks,
do.
that's 5 reviews.
And I'm not good at this.
1 month
I'm new.
engaged.
I really am. I need help on my ERS. I need help on all this stuff. But that's the way I look at it. If that's your goal and you're willing to give up that amount of money, spend it. Let's call it $100. If you get 5 reviews a month, that you just told yourself it's worth it. I mean,
Is it Annie? Annie's iPhone?
Oh, I just put Event Hawk in.
Or
They're coming
Ani?
in. Event Hawk's
Ani.
coming in.
All right,
Oh, there we
what's-
go.
What's the next
Uh-oh.
topic? Next
Is it
topic.
Annie?
He's
Next
a-
Next topic.
How many Event Hawk templates do you have? Because I spent a few hours. I went in there, customized all mine, made new ones. I think I'm
Yeah,
up
mine's-
to like 32 or 38 custom templates.
Well, actually, I have a virtual assistant that
Oh,
does
look at you,
only,
baller.
that does only Event Hawk.
What do you
And
pay
so-
though? But real talk, because
Right, let's split it.
I want to know. Well, I want to know the ins and outs of that because just me being me, I don't want to hire a VA. I want to hire one of my guys to do it. And I've got a couple that are super personable and I think would be good at it. But do you pay the VA like on their terms, like whatever they decide it's X per day, or like how does that whole thing work?
Good question.
No,
I
my
like that
guy,
question.
my guy's hourly.
Hourly.
So how many hours they spend on Event Hawk, like replying?
Well, he does more because I mean he's hourly, but he's like from 10 to like 5 he's available for like all phone calls and Event Hawk leads, and obviously like making sure that all of the systems are in place, making sure that the Google review goes out, making sure that they're messaging like any questions. We do ask like a lot of stuff, but what I like about Event Hawk is they've built such a relationship with us over the course of like having done the coupon. By the time that we get there, they feel like they know us. Right. So he does communicate a lot.
Very true.
I just realized like there's someone in here named Event Hawk.
Yeah.
And
can't be talking that talk.
Yeah, they need to sell it. Event Hawk, sell it.
Who is it?
It's Jana.
Sell it to me.
I love it. No, somebody just messaged me and they're like, oh my gosh, are you listening to Nick's live? And I was like, well, I was, but then I left. And so they're like, oh, you got to get on there right now. So I'm driving, listening to you guys. Thanks for all the love. And then I think I just saw there was Josh that was talking about how he loves ERS. Josh, I've tried to sell you a million times.
Is this Jana?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
To hear everything, but I did get to hear, bits and pieces of it. I'm always happy to talk to you and explain to you the difference, because there is a difference. I had ERS for 10 years. So, it's not, I mean, man, when I heard you say you're paying your guys $20 a review, I'm like, dude, you don't even have to do that and you'll get the same, if not more. I promise.
There you go. That's how you sell. Everyone who's in here, listen to her. That's it. This is how you sell something.
Yeah, I mean, I was a skeptic at first. At first, when Tariq sold me on Event Hawk, I was just like you guys. I'm like, dude, there's no way that this works the way that it does. But just like everybody's been talking and on E and all this stuff, she's been a client forever. It's so much more than reviews. It's the sales funnel. You don't realize how much traffic is coming to your site that you're not closing. I would happily show any of you guys my numbers, my ERS.
Pull them up, Jana, while you're driving. Pull them up.
Yeah, right. I know. I definitely would. I'll be home in about 10 minutes if anybody wants to take a peek real quick.
Oh,
but
sure.
The proof is in the pudding, and we have the proof. We have the data to back it up, and that's what makes us different. But I'll quit pitching you guys on Event Hawk. You know where to find me.
Jana,
I'll hook you up with a free trial for a month, and you can,
there you go, Josh. You got your free trial.
If you give me
no expense to you.
3-month free trial, I'm in.
Yeah.
And I'll support and back this.
Conversion tonight, baby.
There you
3-month free trial.
I need a discount. I've been selling Josh for the past hour.
Give this man a promo code.
Listen, maybe I can hook you up with a hat, but don't tell anybody. Oh wait, no, this is live. Crap. No, I'm just kidding. No, I appreciate
you a hat.
Uh-oh. John?
No, this is Kanan.
Oh, Kanan. Oh, I do owe you a hat. Did you send me your address?
Oh, she's about to leave the Zoom. She's
no, but I'll see you
I'm gonna run out of hats real quick. No, I'm just kidding. I am taking a poll on what color of shirts for this year for IAPA. If anybody has any preferences on colors of shirts, speak now, because I'm in the process of ordering those.
I want a pink one.
I'm just
black.
Just because this passion and commitment, you show up like you're everywhere, and so I'm gonna.
Yeah, Jana, what exactly do you do? Because you're on Facebook full time.
It's everywhere. You're killing it.
We need to take a shot for that one.
You sold me. You sold me.
It's a shorter list of what Jana does not do.
I love this industry, and I love helping all of you guys. And I mean, just like somebody said, like you don't even have to be our customer. We just want you guys to be successful and have the same, experiences and reap the same rewards that we have from, changing our business and growing our businesses and stuff like that. So we're super passionate about it. I love you guys. I have to tell you, Nick, I love you. Tariq is out right now, and I'm going to screen record a portion of this because this is really going to make his heart happy.
No, you're killing it.
Tariq needs love right now.
You're killing it.
I cannot even express to you.
Best salesperson I've even heard in a long. You're killing it.
Tariq off that hood. Josh off that hood right
I want you guys to know that it really means a lot that I wasn't involved in this conversation, and it was such a positive, you guys took it as a team, and I love it. And for somebody to message me and be like, oh my gosh, girl, you need to get on here and listen to them. You are going to be so proud. I had a little tear. I'm not going to lie. I told my husband, you're driving. I'm like, just be quiet. I have to get on this. So
Jana, I'm sorry, but I need some of your templates too on Event Hawk. I'm trying to expand the inventory of my templates. I need some of yours
on sales, because I've been asking every single person in here, hey, sell me on it, sell me on it. You come in here, you just sell me instantly. I'm signing up.
All you need to do to get the templates is text the word templates to the Event Hawk number, and it'll automatically email you all of the templates.
Well, I think I got those built in. Right?
Nope,
you sold me.
The new ones.
Oh,
it's
so this is an add-on. This is like a little DLC pack.
There's probably 30 or something in there.
Template. There we go.
Nick, on a different topic I heard Anna E talking about her virtual assistant. I have a virtual assistant that I pay $55 a day, and she works from 8:30 to 6:30. That was a big snake.
Go back and get it.
What? Yeah. Really? But she has to maintain a 5-minute response time. And it gives her the ability to work from home and all that kind of stuff without, actually having to have a
Jana, I think me and Nick might want to go in on this VA just to make it as automated as possible. And maybe more people in here that have
somebody on Facebook was posting that they're splitting a VA, or they hired a couple and are splitting or something. I thought that was super interesting and very, very doable. I don't get enough messages to fill one person.
Justin's out in the field right now.
Oh, we got you good, baby?
Mike Salazar has a VA, and then he has a couple of other people that he shares another VA with. I guess it's just based on what days and times and what state you're in or whatever.
Oh, Nick brought the dog. Oh, my
daughter
daughter's 13 years old now, and Hi.
Hello.
Tell him your name.
My name is. Who's ready for a phone party?
Oh, you're gonna make me cry. I miss all those moments with my daughter. She's old now.
Justin's out there mixing up some potions,
some glow foam,
glow in the dark potions.
Justin, when are you gonna have that thing ripping, dude? I want to see some glow foam in life, in real life.
Making me tear up seeing your daughter, because she's 13 years old now, and she doesn't want anything to do with me anymore.
Bro, don't be confused. That chick's 13 too. I don't know how. Throw it in your face. She's doing these dance moves. I'm like, what?
You have to cherish and every moment with those ones.
Yeah, dude.
Because it disappears. They become a teenager, and they're like, I only care about my friends now. Right. And I want to be popular, and this is the most important thing in my life, and you lose that
Justin, unmute real quick. Where'd you get that?
Where'd you get that
I don't know
dog
what I'm
from?
trying to say. No, not the. What are those? The custom sheets for your foam pit area, or like.
What's going on, guys?
There you go.
What up?
Yo,
Wait,
All
where's
right,
your
so back to
shirt?
my original question. Where'd you
Justin
get the
was that-
custom setup for your foam cannon? Like the decals on all those signs for like
I
barrier
get it
wall.
from Darren Castile.
Darren Castile.
DRC print.
Yeah, DRC.
DRC print.
DRC print.
Okay.
Yep.
Facebook. Is he on Facebook?
Yep.
Yeah, he's in the Facebook groups. He's in the Foam Daddy group too. I'm so mad at these shirts, man. They came in purple, but he's got a blue one coming. But they're cool.
Is your name Justin?
I like 'em.
You look like a walk-in billboard, man.
Your name's
I am.
Justin, huh?
Dude, it's about to get crazy back here, though. You see this thing? I did a foam party at a school. Didn't even unload my truck, and then they called me today. It was like, "Oh, you want to do a blacklight foam party?" And now I'm doing that.
Is your name Justin?
Justin and Justin, we got to stick together, man. We have to stick together.
I don't know what's going on.
All right, so somebody had asked me in the chat like a long.
You guys ready? You guys ready?
He's gonna rip it. I'll wait.
I'll wait.
Justin was
All
about
right,
to
you let
say
me know when you're
something.
ready.
Or Nick was about to say something.
Okay, so somebody had asked me a long time ago about the Christmas light business, and I didn't want to mention it because it like derails and goes into all Christmas lights. So I didn't want to mention it until kind of like the end.
People talking to us.
Who are all the people? There's lots of different people. You see their names? I know you can't read them, but they all own bouncy houses.
What are their names?
They got
And
lots.
they won on Christmas light business.
Let me see. if I
September,
can-
Josh, you can get a ticket.
Ticket, baby. So I can't find. It was too long ago, dude. I don't think it'll go. I can't
Is that a
find it.
unicorn cup?
It is. Show Josh your cup.
Oh, it's such a pretty unicorn cup. Where do you even get one of those?
Who bought it for you? It's grandma, huh?
Grandma.
Grandma made that?
Okay, somebody asked, and I don't know, I wish I knew their name, but it just says iPhone, said, I want to ask about starting a lights company. They said, I've done it for other people, but never thought about starting my own company doing it. So basically, I mean, I'm not trying to oversimplify the whole thing, but like you just buy some lights and then you run some ads and get some clients and go hang the lights. There's obviously a lot more to it because you got to keep up with inventory. You need a service agreement, which I make mine on Square. I also invoice through Square. I hire an admin that works for me just during Christmas light season, which is actually grandma. It's my mom. And she does all that. And then she also measures the homes. We've historically measured on Google Earth, which is free and easy, just super accessible. I think we're going to switch this year to a software called Roofer.
This is a slap bracelet.
I was about to say that's a slap bracelet, but you said it before I did.
She was schooling me on it this morning. She's like, "This is a slap bracelet." Dad. You've never
you
seen
slap it. Yeah, you slap it, and
I was like, "I
it's a
never
bracelet.
know. I've never seen it."
But so is the lights business easier and more fun than the bounce house business?
Yes and yes. It's also more stressful because it's such a short time window. So this year we're shooting for $300,000 in roughly 8 weeks, really like 7.
Now I'm 21.
That's nuts. Who is there? So there's a guy in Buffalo that does this.
I'm sure there is.
Most likely.
You said you mentioned him.
Oh, the guy. I wish I remembered his name. He's really cool. I've had like DM conversations with him. He's convinced. He's super interesting. So he's convinced that whatever area he's in, which I think is Buffalo, but I mean snow on every house he's ever on. He's convinced that the clientele doesn't have enough money to pay for the high end stuff like I hang. So And then he also thinks it takes too long. So he buys these weird store-bought lights with little clips already on the line. He charges less money, and then he's like a ninja with ladders. It's crazy. And I told him, everybody rips him in the freaking Facebook groups about he should be hanging those garbage lights, whatever.
I just hired a roofer.
Bro, if
Texas.
you're not like just being real, if you're not into money, then don't start a Christmas light business. Like it's that crazy to where you can go. So basically you go, if you do a good job, right? You go from about 100,000 a year to about 300,000 a year to about 700,000 a year to about $1 million in that, right? It scales that quickly. The reason why is because you're reinstalls. So if you go do $100,000 year one, which is not easy to do, but it's very doable. If you go do $100,000 year one, you have those lights built for those clients. They just go get hung right back up and there's no overhead on. Then you're going to sell new clients. Then year 3, you've got 2 years worth of reinstalls, right? So Fred, who I'm doing the Christmas light training with, he literally doesn't even take new clients. He just goes and puts the old lights back up. Unless
that's a good position to be in.
Yeah, unless it's like, some huge account.
Look at the watch.
They can't see you, baby. I did not think she would be this boisterous. There, her new, what is this, Elsa Anna one? Yeah, Elsa Anna. Yeah, so he doesn't even take new clients unless unless the juice is worth the squeeze. And it's easier. I would say it's easier. It's tougher on the body than bounce houses is because, realistically, you're going 7 days a week, right? And so whoever's on the ladders and on the roofs, it's hard on your hips and your back, and your muscles. But it's just because it's repetitive day after day after day. But it's more stressful because it's just so compact. Like you make all that money in that short amount of time. But dude, it's so fun. I've kind of said this in a lot of the different lives I was on last week too, but I was like, there's just something so satisfying about somebody handing you the other 50% of the payment, which is like $3,000. They hand you a check for $3,000 with tears in their eyes and they hug you, right? Because you decorated their house for Christmas. Like it's satisfying to all parts of your life.
I don't know, Nick. I feel like that's the same concept with like little kids for their huge water slide that they got. I feel like that's the same concept.
Like
They're like,
my
oh my
mom-
gosh, I can't believe this is here. You're like,
No, it means something different at Christmas time with Christmas lights because like my mom and my dad, they were married for 35 years. He died like 6-7 years ago, and he never hung up Christmas lights ever. So I went over there and I was like, I'm starting this new thing where I'm hanging up Christmas lights now, and it meant so much to her. It's totally different.
It's crazy, dude.
Well, actually, it's kind of the same because like with Bounce House, you're bringing this joy and this thing into this little kid's lives where they're so excited about. But also, if you can get like a 65-year-old woman to be as excited as a little kid with the Bounce House, yeah.
So Alex, while you're here,
insurance, man. Everybody
while you're here, I was about
when they talk about insurance, it's like, yeah, I think about this every day.
Alex, your dad's the fucking legend, and you're a fucking legend for being born.
So I was gonna ask Alex, with that endeavor, because I haven't dove into it yet, but I'm seriously committed to it. What type of insurance do we need for that? I feel like that'd be a good question for Alex.
Well, I'm not the Christmas lights.
He's not a
Christmas
I know you're more
but I will tell you
guy,
from an insurance perspective, at the very least, you need general liability. If it's a completely separate company and I don't know how you guys do your vehicles, but you probably need commercial auto. You need workers' comp if you have employees, inland marine if you have equipment. Obviously, you want to cover the equipment while it's on the house as well. So I would say at the very minimum, those 3 or 4 policies.
So let's say I buy all my wire off Alibaba, which I'm not going to do, but let's just say theoretically, and that connector just sparks up and it lights their whole house on fire. What type of insurance do I need for that?
That's general liability.
General liability.
General liability.
Okay.
You gotta know this.
And so
like I said, I'm not in the industry yet, but as of September, once I go to the training, then I will be.
No, bro, you go, and I'm sure we'll cover this at the training. But you get insurance for the amount of time that you have lights on the house, and then you just cancel it when you would take the lights.
Okay.
Like the policy only runs from, right. It kind of depends if you're gonna go do. We have customers that put up for Halloween in a Halloween pattern, and then we go back and switch their lights to a Christmas pattern. So I start mine in October, and then I have Mardi Gras. So I got to run mine up all the way through February, because we go do the same thing with Mardi Gras. We switch out Christmas to Mardi Gras colors. But so I mean, I just run October to basically January 28th, and then cancel it. Last year, and I couldn't even tell you what it's obviously way lower than bounce house business, because there's no children that could be harmed.
I know. I would never get.
It's not an amusement device.
I would never.
Yeah, there you go.
If I started a Christmas light business, there's no way I'd get insurance. Ever.
I went without for 2 years, because it's kind of like in the early days, it was just me hanging lights, right? I just show up at a house with a ladder and hang lights. And in the first 2 years, I was hanging the lights that they had in their attic. So like, there really was no liability. I mean, there obviously was, if their shit caught their house on fire, right? They could have gone after me. But it's kind of like, it wasn't
definitely liability, Nick.
Yeah,
there's definitely
bounce houses. Yeah, bounce houses and water.
I gotta watch my mouth.
New game.
I'm just like, I was like, in my mind, I'm like, yeah, I was like, you could put the ladder up against their gutter, you could rip their gutters off, and like you just destroy their property. That's liability. Yes. It's not just bodily injury; it's property damage as well.
Yes, but that's the thing, is
where
like,
they think they can't sue you, even though they can.
The contracts.
I'm gonna, but if I'm gonna risk, so I'll tell you a good story. So whenever somebody wants their windows outlined, okay, this is probably gonna trip you guys out, but you do it with hot glue.
Mm-hmm.
You hot glue the lights to the house.
Had those on mine.
Not in Arizona.
Hot glue.
And so I had somebody that wanted to do. I had somebody that since Hurricane Ida was relatively recent and a horrendous hurricane, their roof was jacked up, so we could not put lights on the roof. So, I mean, this was a big job. This is like $2,300, and we did just the pathway lighting and the garden bed outline, right? So the lights go on stakes and stick straight up, and then they wanted to outline the windows and the door. Okay, and so and this was my bad. I went and did this install because I was like, I don't want my guys to jack this up, right? Then I jacked it up. But there's 2 different kinds of stucco. So there's stucco where the back is foam, where it's real decorative, right? And it's like layered or whatever. And then there's stucco where the back is, I think, plywood, but I don't know. I'm not a builder. That's fine, but why are you?
Nick, I don't mean to interrupt you, but JC, I guess, is trying to get in the Zoom. He's
Okay. Yep. Got it. He's in. But anyways, so I put hot glue on the lights and stuck it to the wrong stucco. Okay, so then when you go to take the lights off, you rip the stucco off, and so there's little spots of stucco missing all the way around. And so I damaged their property, right? And so they could have been pissed about it and sued me, but because I'm just a good person and a good operator, I went back, I patched it all. It took me 2 days. I had to figure out how to do it, but I went back and patched it all and fixed it all up. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, you can rip a gutter off a person's house, but at the same time, you can just pay for it. So you don't need to have a liability policy that's humongous, because whatever they can sue you for is your contractor buddy can go put the gutter back up, right? And so I did that to 2 houses.
Was the hot glue like the reason that there's damage?
Yeah. So the hot glue, I put it on the wrong stucco. I shouldn't have put it on where I put it. But the guy was super nice, super cool. You know what I mean? And I went back and fixed it, and we're all good. But basically, what I'm saying is the insurance factor in the Christmas light industry is not nearly as big of a deal because there's no people, especially children, that can get injured. You know what I mean?
Little kids aren't gonna die.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
So that was my.
Literally just had a claim today. It was
wrapped
a
up in
chain of
stuff.
people going down a water slide. They were supposed to go down one at a time. In the incident report, they admit to using the bounce house incorrectly. 4 kids got hurt. One of the kids at the party is suing the parents of the party and the rental company.
Jeez.
Damn.
It's like,
Alex, quit putting this
You're
bad
in there.
energy
No, no,
just
no.
just saying,
out
you guys
there.
say you
like,
don't need
you
insurance. I'm
you're
like,
manifesting
you
right
get
now.
sued by the
No.
own people at your party. Can you imagine that? I would be
This
so
is
pissed.
stuff that you need to hear. Like he's
I know
like,
is what I need to hear, but I don't want to hear it.
I want to hear this stuff.
It's crazy.
Is your name also
This is that
Alex?
back
Isn't your
office
dad's
work.
name Alex? I just swear your dad's name is Alex.
Nah, his name's Larry.
Yeah, Casio.
The
yeah.
Lair Bear.
All right, so Nick, I have a question again. This was probably gonna be for Fred, but whenever my parents are divorced. Whenever I was with my mom, I was probably 8. We had a company come out. They did the Christmas lights around the window, so they did the hot glue.
Yeah.
And then they damaged the brick because whenever they went to go pull it, it damaged the brick. The landlord now turned around to my mom, suing her to replace the brick. Have you had any experience with that, or I don't know?
Definitely.
I don't know how to replace brick.
It has to be in your contract.
I don't
speaking
think
for
it was
Alex.
in the contractor's
You got to before they
contract
even,
at that
yeah,
point.
if you're gonna hot glue stuff, you got to have it in your contract. Like, hey, we're gonna hot glue stuff, and if stuff happens, that's just how it's gonna be.
So basically what I'm gonna put in my service agreement this season is we're not doing Christmas lights hot glued to stucco. Just straight up. Then underneath that, it's gonna say, if we do hot glue lights to stucco and damage occurs, right, we're not liable. Da 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 da. Then when we go to the house and they say we want lights around our windows on the stucco, I'm gonna tell them no because it's gonna damage it, right? If they're still hell bent on doing it, you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm too ambitious of a businessman to tell people no.
Right. So what I'm trying to get at is my clientele for it, the area I live in, they can literally hop on a plane, go eat lunch somewhere, and then come back. I don't think that contract will help me in court.
No,
or
of course
could
not.
it? Of course
No,
not.
But the thing is, they're not going to sue you, right?
Over a little piece of brick
No,
that chips
the
off.
contract is to
Correct.
scare them from suing you in the first
It's a
place.
deterrent.
They don't know
It's a
that
deterrent.
they can even sue you, even though it's a contract that says you.
I'm pretty
cannot
sure
sue.
their lawyers know. Like these are the
But
people.
they don't know. They're,
Yeah,
like,
but
they're signing
you
a
gotta
contract.
remember,
It's like,
like-
if you sue me, you have to pay for 75% of all my attorney fees. You got to do all this and that. Like, you literally can't sue me. They're like, oh, I can't sue this person. That deters like 99% of everyone who's gonna try to sue you.
See, the people I'm dealing with, that 75% lawyer fee.
It's just a different
That's-
business.
that's-
Like you got to get out of the bounce house business mindset where it's like there's
Okay.
not going to be anything for them to sue you for because you're just going to attack the situation.
See,
apologize
with
and
the
go
bounce
fix it.
house, I might ruin their sod that they put in with a water unit. I'm more worried about hot gluing some lights on some brick, because first-hand experience, my mom got sued for it, even though she just wanted some lights on her house. So
Yeah.
they went to pick it off. It chipped the brick on multiple occasions. That's what I'm worried about. That's probably
It's all
the
about the
only thing
contract.
that's
The most important thing is the contract and what people sign.
okay.
It's the most important thing.
Just don't hot glue lights.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be like, hey, you can contract that out to so and so brothers, and
Correct.
they'll hot glue it. And-
No,
Or you
don't
just say,
do it.
look, you know, the thing about the business is it's so personal, right? It's a totally different interaction with the clients. Just
See,
because
and
it's a
I
different
haven't even
business.
made it to step A yet. I'm just
Yeah. So you just tell them like,
overthinking it,
look,
I guess.
right? And then you tell them that story, right? And then they're either going to say, that's cool. I don't. Most of the time, you tell a rich person, hey, we can do it, but we might fuck up your brick. They go, the husband is in the background going, fuck the brick. No, we're out. Like it's like, it's over
Right.
fast. Cause I had one lady that was, and her husband is in the background looking at me like, he's like, Nick, kill it. I was like, Sally, yeah, the husband just put the, you know what I mean? But you're just straight with them, you know, and that was where I messed up with the 2 houses that I messed up on is we bid the judge because we don't go to the houses, right? You got Google Street View and then you're measuring from above. And then I go to do the installs, right? And I'm trying to keep up. I just had too much stuff on my brain to remember, check the stucco, and then I did it wrong.
Okay.
But then when I went to go pull them off, like, I'm not going to lie to you, after the season was over and everything, come December 15th, 18th, something like that, like I had anxiety in my head. I'm like, dude, I hope I didn't glue that in the wrong space.
Yeah.
And then I go to take them off. And as soon as you start to put leverage
You
on
see
the
that
Christmas,
shit just start
it starts to
peeling
crack. And
off.
I'm like, and the one is an old man. He's an old man. He's former military, super sweet, very cool dude. Was with me the whole time I was uninstalling, which was terrible, right? Because I start to peel and it's gonna break. And so I had also glued some on his window seal, which those pop right off. When I pop those off and he won't leave, he's not leaving. I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to ruin his stucco in front of him. And so then I start doing it, you know, and I told him, look, it's all good. I'm gonna patch it. I know exactly how to do this. I have no idea how to do it, but you know, and then I went back the next day. I got all the stuff I needed. I went back the next day. And then he had the paint. So I went back the next day, painted it, and we're all good. And he can't wait to get lit next year. And he's, you know, we've already got a new
Nick,
plan.
your clientele
you
compared to
gotta do
what
is
mine is
film.
going to be, they don't know their ass from their elbow, dude. Like they have so much money, they don't know what to do with their money. That's what I'm worried about. Like if I go to hang lights and it's hot glued on there and I chip just one brick, I feel like I'm gonna have to move to Mexico. Like just get a flight and just disappear.
Of all the
you
houses
gotta
we
do is
did,
cut
we
the
did
brick
100
out
and
reapply it. It's that
what's that?
simple. All you got to do is cut the brick out, get you some mortar, fill in the edge. It's not that hard. Y'all call me when y'all damage the house. I'll tell you how to fix it. I'm a general
I'll remember that
contractor
name.
also.
There we go.
Hell yeah.
I'm a general contractor. The stucco's not a problem. I can tell you how to do it.
Yeah, but it's very, but Justin, it's very like, I mean, I hot glued lights on 2 houses and my own. And for the record, I jacked my own stucco up.
Mm-hmm. How could you?
I know. Okay, hang on. My wife's calling.
Hey, is Zay
It
right
blows my
there?
mind
Is that the
y'all
one that
y'all
can
are
bench
high
press the
gluing
monster
stuff.
truck from Monster
No,
Jam?
Isaiah, unmute. They want to know who you are, bro. Okay, hey, hello.
My mind's blown that y'all hot gluing lights.
I will take. I just want
Yo.
4 chicken fingers. I don't want the French fries.
I can't bench press the monster truck. That's
Okay, look at that.
Tyler and Ethan.
I'm trying to talk to the one bench truck. Shit, we're on number 9.
I can roll
My
Rampage solo, but I can't bench press a monster truck.
You muted yourself to talk, but you didn't unmute yourself, or you what do you call it? Unmuted
Oh, I
yourself
did.
to put your order in.
Oh, that's terrible.
Nick,
man,
all this
I didn't
talk
want the
about like
fries
getting
either.
sued for the hot glue on the bricks. Like, what about when we stapled those lights to the house? Couldn't they just turned around and like, oh, you put holes in my wood?
So
Yeah,
next
right.
year,
There you
yeah.
go.
So next year, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a separate piece of literature, basically, that they sign that says we're stapling. It's going to put holes in it. It's going to chip the paint. Da 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 da. Agree to it? Yes. Like we'll have a separate. Like that's in this. I had put that in the service agreement this year after we did that. After Ethan and I did that one in downtown Madisonville.
I think ours was ours in New Orleans or Gretna? I don't remember.
That New Orleans one was one that I did at Mardi Gras when I first started running custom lights. Mardi Gras 2020. And I mean, those people are on service agreements. They're on nothing but a handshake.
So Nick, have you done any like permanent light installs? Like with that, how does your insurance carry over? Because I know with the classic like Christmas lights, it just cuts off January 28th, like you said. But
Nobody's
with the
got
permanent
insurance with
stuff,
Christmas
does that
lights.
one? Because I know they're not getting as hot. It's not drawing as much current.
Right.
Kind of how does that work?
So I haven't done permanent, as in I think what you're talking about, which is like
the LED. I've followed Chris.
Okay,
he's been doing a lot. The last one I saw was his tracks video. He posted some sort of track. I don't know.
So I don't have any experience in those. And I've thought about getting into it. I just can't decide because obviously we're so warm down here that the jump off stays busy in the Christmas light season and then starts getting busy in Mardi Gras season. So I can't decide. I'd have to hire more, train more. Definitely doable, but I've held off on it. I do have some clients that have Christmas lights on their building year round. And so basically what I do with those is they have a completely different service agreement to where the service agreement does not say you rent these from Let's Get Lit owns these lights and we service these lights. I tell them they get that service agreement when they install at Christmas, right? Because they go, we're going to do Christmas, we're going to do Mardi Gras, we're going to do 4th of July, Easter, right? And then
everything.
Most of the time they back out because a bulb swap is $400 to $600, and it sounds great in the moment when they're all high and mighty at Christmas time. Come 4th of July, another $600 to go put in freaking red, white, and blue bulbs. They're just not as into it. And they don't think about the fact that it doesn't get dark until, you know what I mean, 9:30. Like
right.
Yeah. So they start out on the original service contract, and then after they go past Mardi Gras, if they go switch to Easter, the service agreement changes to now you own these lights. Service calls are charged. These are your lights. We will come service them, but they now belong to you. It's not our responsibility.
So I guess this might be a good question for the training, which I'm still waiting to get my link from you to pay the rest off. No,
it was a long day, bro.
It's been a long day. With that, are you and Chris gonna like provide any documentation we can modify, like contract wise, or because I haven't done any research for like contracts for that, but I'm just wondering if it would be there.
Yeah, so basically, I'm working on. I wanted to do it today, but if Isaiah could show his ankle right now, it's the size of like a tree trunk. So he was supposed to go set up. He was supposed to go set up a rental and then go pick up a repair from Spacewalk today. And then he sprained his ankle last night playing basketball. So then I had to go do it. So I had by the time I got home, I had kids here and then this thing going on. But basically,
update on the ankle. I'm limping on it. I'm off the crutches.
So that means he's good for the weekend. So that's good.
There you go.
I'm good for the weekend.
Especially August 6th, because for some reason that is booking up like crazy. Yeah. For some reason, I don't know.
Yeah. But so I'm gonna make a starter kit, just like my bounce house starter kit. I'm gonna make one of those for Christmas lights too. So in there, I'll have my service agreement. I'll have my permanent. Just let me talk for 2 seconds. I'll have my permanent service agreement. So I have both of those in there. And then I'm also gonna build in there, if you plan on doing 20 homes, which is gonna be $30K in revenue, here's your shopping list. I'm gonna do a 20, a 30, a 60, and 100 house shopping list that'll be linked out. And then, I mean, I only have 2 Christmas light videos as of now, but right, it'll look all like my bounce house starter kit, and that'll all.
We need the It's Lit YouTube channel. Diversify the income.
It all goes under one.
All under one. All right.
I got the cups.
So I was gonna ask what Aaron was gonna ask, even though it might be part of the training.
So
he was asking how much should we invest in lights? And I think you've got some pallets coming in, so I'm kind of late to the game. I need to order up.
Yeah, so
this might be the time.
So what I did was I bought, right, so we banged last year super hard, and then I spent the season trying to keep up with inventory, which is what probably you'll do this year, because unless you want to invest $30,000 in lights, you know what I mean? You'll want to just keep catching up with inventory, because you don't know what you're going to spend. And then you can start spending Christmas light money on Christmas lights.
Yeah.
Then, but then you have a bulk left over. So then I already bought all my stuff, so I have peace of mind going forward. So the question is what you should invest in lights. The answer kind of depends on whatever your ambitions are. And then I would say times it by 2. Because last year I spent $8,000 in I think mid-September. Those lights were gone mid-October. They were gone so fast. It was crazy.
So what you're saying is I need to order now.
But you take 50% deposits. You take 50% deposits. And so
see, I haven't even started marketing yet.
No. And you shouldn't at this time.
Okay.
Once you're I have 2 people that messaged me today that I got to get bids for tomorrow. But that's, they know who I am. I'm established. I have no marketing out there right now. But what you're going to want to do is invest what you can in the lights. And like I said, as much as you can spend, the better, because if you go hard with it, it's crazy how busy you'll be. But then as you start taking 50% deposits and as you start installing, you use that money to then go buy more. You end up overspending, right? So last year I should have spent somewhere in the ballpark of 35,000, and I spent 45,000.
But
right?
how many homes was that though?
I want to say, so we did 120 homes last year, and this is kind of a long story, but about 90, I want to say it was 96 of them were full custom.
So new, they weren't reinstalls.
No.
So that was just straight up new. I have to have the material ready. Go.
We had some reinstalls from Mardi Gras, but I didn't. Yeah. Last year was the first year that I ran the full custom lights. The 2 years prior, I had done show up and hang whatever garbage they had in the attic, which don't ever do that. Don't ever do that.
Yeah, no, I from your video, I think you said you started with Home Depot, Lowe's type lights. And I'm trying to avoid that whole headache. So I'm just trying to install my own stuff. So I was thinking maybe 5, 6. How many 5, 6 grand? How many houses do you think estimate if they're at $7 a foot? You think that would do?
I mean, it depends on the size of the house. It's hard to say, but you should be able to knock out, if you spend 5 to 6 grand, that gives you enough houses to sell where you have inventory, right? Where you're comfortable, to where then you have the 50, you have the 50% deposits coming in, and then you can go and last year was stressful because there were shortages caused by COVID. That's over. Everybody's fully stocked, everybody's fine. Shit was out everywhere. I was buying stuff from every place I could find it. You know what I mean? Going forward, everybody's fully stocked, but you just basically take your money and reinvest in more lights, The price of the lights gets more expensive the closer you get to Thanksgiving. You know what I mean? But you're so busy. The difference between paying, I think right now, everything's right around 75 cents a bulb.
Okay.
It goes to $1.05, right? And so the extra quarter a bulb, it sounds like a lot because you're running a lot of bulbs, but you're making so much money.
I'm trying to keep it. I want to keep it under $2 a foot. That's
you'll keep it under
ideally where I'd like to keep it.
You'll keep it under $2 a foot no matter what.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the last question before anything, because I've got a notepad and I've been researching everything. Who do you use for booking? Is that all just straight up notepad, pen and paper, or really? Okay. Is there any the inflatable office of Christmas lights, or?
Short answer, no. There is, let me see if I can find it. So there's a guy that is one city over from me that found me on YouTube, started asking me all these questions. He started his own Christmas light business. It was weird there for a minute.
Probably uses ERS where you can do all this stuff, huh?
It's probably ERS, bro. I hear it's the best one. All right, let me see. Let me see. Okay, so he got Tinsel. It's called Tinsel. Tinsel. Like the
Tinsel.com.
I think so. I looked it up. It's a CRM specifically made for Christmas light contractors. Most the big dogs use a service called tinselcrm.com.
Tinselcrm.com.
Most of the big dogs use a service called Jobber, which is
Jobber. Yeah, I've heard of that.
It's really built for contractors, but a lot of Christmas light contractors are contractors, and so Jobber's just kind of expensive. You know what I mean? To pay for it for freaking 2 months, because you got to pay per year, and I don't remember what it is, but just to me it was expensive. So I created a spreadsheet that I can show it to you. Hold on, let me put this Band-Aid on.
No, don't worry about it. We have another question in Zoom. I think it's Austin. He's asking, what kind of lights did you start with? So I'm thinking like C8s, C7s, but that could be bushes, like that mesh. Have you done any bushes?
What kind of lights do you start with? Okay, so you want to start with, let me show you. I got it right here.
He's got the whole sample pack.
Dude, it's from China.
Is like,
From China. This stuff is.
Everyone who's in here is. Are you here for lights or?
We're here to
bounce
make
stuff?
money. Is what we're here, Josh. That's why we're here. We're here to make.
We're
money.
here for the beers. Okay, so this stuff is a sample pack from China.
I love you, Justin.
This is a sample pack from China, so this stuff is hot garbage. But over Zoom, you guys won't be able to tell. All right, so
is that how you pitch your customers? Question.
No, because I buy stuff. I buy the good stuff from Fred. So, and I meant to go to the Let's Get Lit storage unit and get good stuff, but right, her camp is over, and so my day is evaporated.
Hey, the babies come first. The babies
yes,
come
they
first.
do. Okay,
All
so
I need is
this
2 minutes of your
is.
attention,
Let me get the right.
and they disappear.
Let me get the right color. Hold on. Bear with me.
Yeah, baby got one coming. Right, baby.
All right. So, right, this is a C9 bulb.
That was like a freaking.
That's like
It's like
industry standard, right? That's
This
like.
is what you're gonna run on 99.9% of homes.
And with them, do you do 12-inch links, 14-inch links?
So the spacing that this China company sent me is 12-inch spacing. I can tell by holding it. 12-inch spacing. These lights are so bright. Do I have a male end on this? No. These lights are so bright that 12-inch spacing is busy.
It just doesn't make sense.
It's so busy. So if you put this, like if I had a male end, I have one there, I can put it on. And you put this bulb plugged into the wall next to the exact same looking bulb from Home Depot, it's something like 13 times brighter. I mean, it's like the moon versus the sun. It's crazy. So 12-inch spacing not only gets expensive, right? Because once you get deep into the season, these are $1.05 a piece. So
that's what I'm worried about. That's what I'm like, should I order now before I come to the training, or
if you have the money?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah. Yeah, if you have the money.
Okay, right off Chris's website, or
yeah. I'll send you the link.
Okay.
But so anyways, 12-inch spacing you're gonna use because it comes in 1,000-foot spools of wire. And so you're gonna have 1,000 bulbs. At 15-inch spacing, same amount of length you can run, but it's only 800 bulbs. And it looks so much better. Unless you're trimming. So this year I want to say I bought 2 spools of 12-inch spacing for that random small house in like the, DR Horton neighborhood where they can't afford
an express home.
They can't afford you, but they bought you anyway. Those little teeny homes, 15-inch spacing is too wide for the tiny little houses. So I have 12 for those because it just looks better.
That's what I'm worried about, because my market, it's so drastic. It's a $10 million home, and then 100 yards away, it's a $300,000 home. It's
Nobody that
so
has a
in
$300,000
between.
home is hiring you. You're only doing 10
That's what I'm
million dollars.
saying. So
You're only doing $10
the
million.
big ones, just don't even worry about it.
Yeah, because the 300,000. So you will close if you do a good ass job. You'll close about 4.5% of your leads.
Okay.
If you're crushing it. So Fred has a business partner named Donovan. And Donovan had posted that he closes like 5.2% of his leads. And everybody commented on the post, like, that's astronomical compared. We closed somewhere around 3.5. I think a little under 3.5% of leads we closed.
That's
Right,
you or the average of the group?
That was Let's Get Lit, right? So
Okay.
if I'm answering all those phone calls, right, the number's obviously higher, but like I can't answer all those phone calls. Like my mom's doing it and she has the scripts that I gave her, right? But she's kind of copying and pasting.
Mm.
And it's kind of like, it's just a game of numbers, dude. It's like, I mean, we were so busy last year. We turned down work. Like we upped our minimum. Our minimum was 600. We upped it to 700, not even that far into November. And then we were 900 minimum, no matter what. Like, so we have a small house that, right, you measure and you're like, it should cost 620. It's just 900, right? Because you don't even want to show up. You won't show up for less than $900 because tomorrow on the books you
You're
have.
saying 900,000.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I mean,
what he's saying is a $900 quote, and then the next day it could be a $5,000 quote. You'd rather go to the $5,000 quote than the
But it
$900
doesn't even
quote.
matter. You
Yeah.
still gotta get that, even if it's
Essentially,
100.
but if it was
you
me,
can't.
I mean,
Like you, like that's
Let's
where
weigh it
that's where
out.
it got to me, where we physically couldn't, because I mean I was running 3 crews, right? Which I hadn't anticipated doing, and I hired and trained as many guys as I could. And so then I told my mom, I said, all right, we got 3 crews. So that third crew, like the newest guys, like give them those small houses, and then it just kept coming in. $3,200 bid, $2,800 bid, $4,200 bid. And so it got to a point where, and so I had told a lot of the clients from the year before where we hung their lights, I said, look, we're going to come do it. I'm going to train a guy to come do it. Da, da, da. I actually, and this is a first ever in any of my business career, which I started in business at age 19 as an employee. I disappointed clients. Yes, but I disappointed clients. I had clients, they said, you said you'd come do it. And I said, I don't have any words to tell you other than I'm sorry and things have changed. On the books tomorrow, like there was a day we did 12 grand, a day, one day.
Yeah.
And I said,
probably 8 hours or more.
Yeah, no, because it gets dark so early. Like, and you can it's lights, so it lights up. You can work as long as you want, but
man.
But yeah, I mean 8 hours. And I told her, I said, her name was Jen. I told Jen, I said, you were one of my biggest clients last year at $650. I said, I won't even take the job. If you want me to come and run the real stuff on your house, I guess it's $3,200. I don't think you want to do that. If you do, let me know, but I'm not coming. She said, you said you'd come. You promised you'd come. I said, I'm sorry. Tomorrow, and then I said, tomorrow I do a $4,200 job and a $3,800 job, and that's my crew, my other 2 crews, and I outlined their scope of work. You know what I mean? I said, I'm not coming.
That's when you tell me I'm only coming for someone who's very hot.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So Nick, I don't mean to get too
not
personal,
coming
but
for you.
is your jump off crew doing the Christmas lights as well?
Yes.
They are.
Yeah, they have
right
to.
on.
Yeah,
So
the jump off only exists to staff Let's Get Lit.
Okay.
Like,
so let's say, because right now my price structure, I have it set per unit. Is it the same kind of structure for per house, or how does that work? I don't mean to get too personal, but
for paying the guys?
Yeah.
No, it's straight hourly.
Straight hourly. Okay.
So basically, what I do is, I get to the warehouse, whether I do it at night or the morning before. Usually I'm an early morning guy. So I go, you know what I mean, go to the warehouse at 5:30 in the morning and get and I have a list of the jobs they're gonna do. And it's all in the spreadsheet, like it's all kind of complex, but I know what they're going to do. I know the colors of their houses, whether they're going to do warm white, which is almost everybody, or they're going to do a multicolor, they're going to do a candy cane color. And so then I go segregate their bulbs and get everything organized for them. So Alex and Braden are doing this. Jacob and Ethan are doing this. And then I'm taking so-and-so with me and we're doing that. And I get all their materials separated and then they go pick everything up. As soon as they get to the warehouse and start, moving lights, their time starts. And so
now
go ahead.
My bad. I'm just thinking like reinstall or new install. Is that you're delegating all of it to previous install? So they have like the map, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Or is that just straight up new install? They already know, just bang, get it done.
Yeah. So they kind of have their marching orders. We have 2 different group chats. So we have the regular Let's Get Lit group chat, and then we have finished jobs group chat. Okay. And so they in there, they've got addresses, they've got approximate length, pattern that it needs to get, whether it's getting, and then kind of like the map, right? So where we bid the job, you take a picture of the house and then draw on it, like mark it up with your finger.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so they know what they're doing. You know what I mean? And then after they finish, they count the bulbs. So we bid the job at say 200 feet, X number of bulbs, which is 200 times 12 inches divided by 15 inches tells you how many bulbs it's going to be. Then they go, when they're done, they go count the bulbs and they report, okay, we use this many bulbs. Then my mom goes and does the math and then texts me, we bid it at $7 a foot. They used X number of bulbs. So we actually made $7.60 a foot, or I was under on the dormer windows. So we made $6.50 a foot, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's all kind of like a system that all works. As long as they count the bulbs and report it, it works super well. Okay. And they make lead installer starts at $18 an hour. And then, but I'm very forward with all of them. I tell them, I'll pay you $25 an hour. And then if you can keep up with me, which you can't, but if you can, I'll pay you $30 an hour. Right? Because the way it works is the more efficient they are, like it's got to be beautiful. It's freaking Christmas. It's got to be beautiful. Right. But the more efficient they are, the more houses they can run through. If I can put 3 houses on your crew instead of 2, that's freaking huge. I mean, that adds up. An extra house a day for one crew adds up over time, right? So I'm like, bro, I'll pay you 30. I don't care, but you got to be efficient to make that. You know what I mean? And then their helper, I think I start their helper at $15 an hour. So you're paying, so basically you're paying $33 an hour per crew of 2.
And they could get those houses knocked out like
right. And that's kind of the incentive, right? I don't pay. Somebody asked me once if I pay per foot they run or pay per house. I'm like, no. The incentive comes in where it's you can do 3 houses instead of 2, right? You call me at 3:30 and you're done and at the warehouse, and I can tell you, fuck it, load tomorrow's drops. I'm still in bounce house mode. Load tomorrow's houses.
Right.
Yeah, load tomorrow's houses. You know what I mean? Get your bulb set, get your cord set, make sure you got enough plugs, males and females, whatever. You know what I mean? And then that's where they can start to get money.
So the way I'm coming at it, I've got the bounce house is just me. I'm just doing bounce houses. So I'm real dialed into that. But I have a roofing company that reached out to me because I said, hey, I'm going to be doing, because they did our roof. I was like, hey, I'm going to be doing some Christmas lights this year, maybe, possibly. They started reaching out to me, hey, at that point, the storm season's over. We're always looking to make more money. So I'm trying to get it more or less. I'm not afraid of heights, but I'd like more or less to get it where I'm just doing logistics at that point. So I'm fine with like 10, 15% profit. And I don't have to do a thing, if that makes sense.
You should still be higher.
Still?
You should still be, I mean, last
30,
year.
45%.
Let me see if I can get.
And then after me, I know Cody, he's had his hand up for a while. So I want to hear from Cody because he's probably got a good question.
Yeah, Cody, if you want to go ahead, I'm gonna try and pull up. I don't know if I can tell you my margin or not. I should be able to. But Cody, you can go ahead.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. No, I've just been sitting here listening, and I'm kind of new to the whole Zoom, this whole video and technology. I'm not the biggest technology guy, but I'm brand new to the whole entrepreneur game and stuff like that.
Hey,
so,
it just matters that you're here. You're ready.
And, I'm just trying to do something different. I work the whole 9 to 5. You know, like growing up, everyone just says, "Hey, you need to get a job with good benefits," and that's it. And that's kind of where they stop at. So I started thinking, I was like, man, I can do more than this. You know, I'm worth a little bit more. But I watched Nick's video on the I know your favorite number is 11, but the 11-step thing. You know, the best 11 things to do when you're starting a business. And the whole story you said was exactly how it worked for me. So I went and I just talked to my old lady about it, and I was like, hey, you know, I'm thinking about doing something extra. So I went and picked up this slide, got a decent deal on it, but I pull up there with my truck and trailer. They use it wasn't a forklift, but it was some kind of like a little skid steer or something like that. And they actually used my strap that I use to like pull other trucks and stuff out, like stuff out when they get stuck. And they used that to load it up, dropped it on my trailer. I got a little 5x8 trailer, took up the whole trailer. I get it to the house, you know, I'm damn near break my back on it trying to get it out. I blow it up and stuff like that. But now I'm like, well, damn, how do I, you know, move it and stuff like that? And that's what I've been working on here recently.
If I can jump in, if you don't have enough capital raised for like a Rollsaw or an electric dolly, make sure you're getting a dolly with a brake.
Yeah.
Any dolly, it don't matter what it is. Inflatable design, one with a brake. Because I had one that was a heavy duty dolly. That's what they said. It was a heavy duty dolly. It had no brake. I had to put both my feet on the tires and then yank it back as the brake.
Yeah. Well, I figured out.
That's my only recommendation. Just make sure you have a brake on your dolly.
I went through a couple different dollies, and I resorted back to a wagon. Tractor Supply, they sell a wagon for $189, I think. And it's a crazy ass system that I got. So it sat in my yard for like, I want to say 2 months, and it's gotten sun damage, but I couldn't move it anywhere. But I finally figured out a way to move it, and I got it up onto my wagon. I was able to move it around. But my main concern right now is insurance. So I mean, and I watched your video with Alex. I watched the whole, like, I think it's like 57 minutes. I think I watched it like 3 times, just trying to like soak up all the information.
Yeah, I talk too much.
Yeah. So, but
so you want okay? So let me. So you need a dolly and insurance.
Yeah. You said, what was the first thing? You kind of broke up.
So you need a dolly and insurance.
Well, I mean, my wagon's getting me around right now. I really want to start at least making some kind of money before I start spending more money towards. Because I mean, I look at the electric dollies. I know they're at least $2,000, and that's for like a used cheap one.
I was gonna say, electric's $4,500, bro. Like, so here, so rewind. I'll give you the good advice. So I was at Spacewalk today. They sell hands down the best starter dolly. The link always changes, dude. Let me see if I can grab it real quick. But Corey had probably 15, 20 of them in stock, which is rare because everybody buys them because I use them. You've probably seen them in my videos. The black ones I use in my videos.
I know I've seen blue ones. I've watched a number of your videos. I just really ain't with the dollies so much because since I got the wagon working for me. So
Okay, got it. I'll send you the link to this one, and you can buy it whenever you're ready. And then as far as insurance goes, so what I tell everybody, thank you, babe. What I tell everybody for insurance is, if you're gonna buy, right? So imagine you're 16 years old, you just got your driver's license, and your mom buys you a car, but she says, I don't got enough money to pay for insurance. Are you gonna drive the car?
Yeah.
Everybody's answer is gonna be different on that. Operating an inflatable without insurance is the exact same thing.
Yeah.
I've been driving, right? I'm 37 years old. So I've been driving for 21 years. I've never been in a crash, and I've never needed insurance. However, tomorrow I pull out onto the highway. I may smack somebody, somebody may smack me. So as far as insurance goes, I couldn't recommend it more. Is it absolutely positively required? No, it's not. But it's just something that it's a risk that's not worth taking. Where if you've got how many units do you have?
I only have one right now.
It's tough because it's it's gonna be $2,000 a year.
And then I got a decent deal on that one. It was I paid $1,400 for it, but I think for me letting it sit out in the sun, I'll get out there and cleaning it is one thing. Like I have not been able to get it fully clean. I put the pressure washer to it one time, and now I have like pressure washer streaks to it, like because I put a little bit of bleach in there, so it's messed up the color and stuff to it. Then from the sun damage and stuff like that, I'll pull on the straps, because the lady I bought it from, she was like, it's easier to move it whenever it's blowed up. So whenever I blown it up, I tried pulling it with the straps. I had 2 straps on me, or 2 straps break on me, and then one actually broke at the seam. So I just took like a kind of like a big hook type deal and poked a hole through it and tied it like that. But then after I did it, I kicked myself, because I look at it and I'm like, man, I don't want to take this to anybody and then look at the hook and be like, oh, well, I ain't gonna have my kids sliding on this shit right here because it's all kind of redneck rigged. So now I'm stuck between the devil and the deep blue sea.
Everybody in this, we all started similarly. I have goofy stories that are similar to what you're just telling. You know what I'm saying? What I would tell you is this: if you're serious, right? So I just did the math. So if your first year of coverage is $2,000 for insurance, which it probably is, that's at least the lowest it would be. It might be a little higher. So you divide it by 12, you get $167. So for $165 a month, but you got to pay it in one shot. You got to pay it. Don't finance the insurance. It's a racket.
Yeah, that's the same thing I was on, because if you can't pay it at the end, then there ain't no telling what they're going to do to you.
It's the interest rate that kills you. The interest rate, I don't remember what it is. I tested it last year, but the interest rate was like I won't buy a car if my interest rate's over, right? I got really good credit because I got a dad that taught me how to have really good credit. But if I have an interest rate that's over, I literally won't buy a car over 2.99%. Hell no.
Yeah.
The insurance interest rate, I do not remember what it was, but it was like north of 20. Like it was brutal. But anyways, so if you can't afford $2,000 for insurance in one shot for your one bounce house, right, which is a lot to swallow, what I would suggest is go buy 3 more, 4 more, get yourself an inventory built up to where swallowing the $2,000 is not that big of a deal, because with that many units, I mean, there's people that do 20K with that many units, right? And so $2,000 on 20K for the peace of mind is well worth it. But it's kind of one of those things where if you want to do it, you got to go all in. If you want to do it right, you got to go all in. Now, can you operate without insurance? Of course, but like I said, it's like driving the car without insurance. As soon as somebody as soon as you rear end somebody, like it's over.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, my luck's not that great. You know,
don't.
I can have insurance for 20 years, and the same day that I don't have insurance, that's when I get in a wreck. So,
Correct.
you know,
Correct.
but whenever I bought the slide, and I didn't do my research on it. You know, I was thinking I could just, you know, get the slide, rent it out, you know, and, you know, kind of muscle my way. I didn't think I needed all the dollies and equipment and stuff like that. And but now, you know, I've legalized my LLC, so that's in there. You know, I got all that in it. I'm not making any money on it, but at least I got, you know, my own business kind of thing. So that still keeps me positive about it. But, and I actually had a buddy that he talked to me the other day. He said, and that was the craziest thing about it. That's what had me so excited, is because I would tell just personal friends, like guys that I talk to every day and work with, yeah, man, I'm thinking about starting a slide business. And then I had people hit me up on Facebook and like message me on my personal number and stuff like that. Hey, do you got any slides available? And I'm like, I just got one slide and I'm not even legal right now. Like I have nothing. Like, nah, I mean, I hope to be legal in, you know, a couple months, but no, I don't have a slide for you right now. And you know, the people that I talk to, you know, I was even before watching videos and stuff like that, I know it's all about the customer. So I say, yeah, I'll give you a discount later on, just, you know, just for the fact that you thought of me first. But yeah, I was like, I can't do anything for you right now. So I mean, I'm all in. It's gonna take a lot longer than I thought to get going. That's why I'm trying to watch all the motivational videos. I've watched, I don't know how many of your videos. You know, I'm on here now just trying to figure out the, you know, the next move and
You're
trying to
doing,
stay
yeah,
positive about it.
you're doing all the right things. If you want to do it right, at least get 3. You know what I mean? And used is cool, right? I'm like the advocate for buying used. So
Yeah.
but at least get yourself 3, then go get insured, then go start renting. And at that point, you know, and you're probably not going to want to spend money on marketing like we were talking about earlier with Google ads and
Yeah,
Facebook ads.
and all that.
But you can go marketplace, of course, get your Facebook page going for the business, and at that point, do some giveaways, do some, you know, tell every cousin, every auntie, whatever you got, you know what I mean, that you got this business going. Pay, not pay, but give discounts for referral, whatever you got to do to get it going, right? Because that insurance is a big kick, but dude, don't operate without it. Just don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that's the thing that kind of sucks, because I've always, like, my ideas are way past where I'm at right now. I was already thinking of promotional deals, and people come up to me like, hey, you know, just give me your business card. And I'm like, I know I need a business card. I get that, but I don't have that right now. I'm still working on, you know, step 1. But I was thinking of, I'm going to do just a promotional day where I set up, you know, a couple slides in the yard, because I work at a prison, so we have staff housing. So I'm on staff housing, and like we all, you know, we're all right in here together. So I was just going to put the slides up in the yard, you know, tell the people at work, you know, put something in the breezeway and stuff like that. Hit people up on Facebook. Hey, we're doing a family day. Come on by. You know, have like a little donation bucket kind of thing. But, you know, cook food and just have the kids come up and play on the slides. And I mean, that thing in itself, just having kids come up and families come up and get together and hang out. Because I mean, I can make enough money on just my business, because overtime is unlimited right now. I don't know how y'all staffing issues are going after you know, government changes and stuff like that. Not to get political, but we're short staffed. I think we're like 100 and something positions down. So you can get as many hours of overtime as you want. So I mean, I can work on the weekends and make, you know, extra money and stuff like that, but I just want to do something on my own. I want to, you know, stop looking at barbed wire all the time and stuff like that, and get out and, you know, interact with people, be able to keep my phone on me, wear like normal clothes and stuff like that. You know, I just want to do a little something different.
Go work as many overtime hours as you can, and any money, right? And obviously I don't know what your paycheck stuff looks like, but any money that comes in that's overtime, put that in go open a separate bank in the bank account, and a separate bank if you have to, whatever.
Yeah.
Bank all that You know what I mean? Name that, whether you can name it on your bank or name it in your brain, entrepreneur fund. You know what I mean? But bro, go get that overtime if you got it and put it aside because it's going to stack up fast. And I know it sounds like a long time to say within 1 year from now, but I was looking at pictures, right? I'm a big fan of Time Hop, the app on the phone. I've checked my Time Hop like 5.5 years in a row every single day. Like it's the only thing I'm disciplined about, right? And so a picture popped up today that was, I think 3 years ago, and we're at the beach. And always, bro, right? I'm a skinny dude. Always, I always say, I'm gonna start lifting. I'm gonna get some muscle mass, right? And it popped up and it's me shirtless on the beach. And I'm like, oh, I'm still skinny. If I just would have lifted, right? Same thing with savings, dude. If you just take that money from the overtime and put it in a separate account, you'll be able to buy like 3, 4, 5 new units this time next year and operate correctly, as opposed to fish hooks through the thing or whatever you were talking about.
Yeah. See, I'm kind of the opposite. Because I played football in high school and I was trying my best to gain as much weight, because I hit high school at 168 pounds and I gained 10 pounds each year. But for whatever reason, 200 was like the weight you needed to be at. So I did everything I could to try and gain, get to 200 pounds. I was graduating day, I think I was 198 pounds. I could never get to 200. I walked across the stage, and by the time I got to the other side of the stage, I was 220 like that. No college offers, nothing like that, which it was really me just getting a desk job, and I stopped working out and stuff like that. So now I've just, I'm shot up. I had a baby back in my first kid in 2020, and I shot her because our job, it does good with like leave. I mean, they gave me 3 months off of FMLA. So I have plenty of time because all the overtime and stuff. So it works back up. And so I always have time to burn. Like I got to have a surgery Monday actually, and I got 600 hours of leave. So I mean, I still, I get plenty of time off. But so I've been on like a weight loss journey, and I'll hit it hard for like a week, 2 weeks, and just can't keep the weight off me. And then that was another thing. I'm starting this business, how because I'm on an admin shift, so I work with the same people every day, and I'm trying to get all my buddies on like the same kind of mindset of just, because we'll sit there in the office on our downtimes and just, talk crap, mess with each other, call each other names and just shit talk. That's kind of the thing we're on, because it's prison, so we get kind of rough. But then one day I'm just like, man, I'm tired of doing the same old thing. Like, a lot of bullshit we got to deal with at the job. I was like, man, let's make some money. And all they want to do is just kind of criticize. Oh, you want to do everything, or you want to do this, or you want to do that, blah, blah. I'm like, hell yeah, I want to do this. Like, so I've had to cut some friends off, and like, I don't know, it's been a crazy little trip, but I'm on it. So
do me a favor, and whether you want to do it, whatever platform is better for you is fine. Whether you want to do it on Instagram or Facebook, but just send me a message, dude, so I can connect with you, and then like whatever questions you got, dude, you can ask me. You know what I mean? Going forward, I answer every single message I ever get. I get busy. Sometimes it takes 2 days, but send me a message.
I sent you one message, and that was when I was first starting up. And then I think you messaged the next day or so, and then accept my friend request on Facebook or stuff like that. So I mean, I've watched, I don't know how many videos on YouTube just on bounce houses in general, or inflatables, motivational speakers. But I don't know, you just seem kind of like the guru. And then it was weird because once you accepted my friend request, your name started popping up through the bounce house group thing. Like it's just Nick Glassett. I'm like, oh, this is a dude. So yeah, I got all you. So it was pretty
awesome,
cool.
dude. Well, do me a favor, go start the other savings account, and then message me when you did it.
Gotcha. Yeah,
awesome.
So,
dude, thank you, Cody.
Yes, sir.
All right. Anybody else want to pop up and ask a question? We got 12 people in the Zoom. See where else we at. What are we doing on Facebook? 6 people watching live on Facebook. Trying to answer all the questions that come through the chats, but there's a lot of chats, dude. Did not expect there being this many chats. Anybody else want to ask a question? And go through and scroll and find one. There was some on Instagram. I got the iPad on Instagram over here. Insurance coverage. I got an insurance question. I feel like every time he's talking about insurance, the entire conversation goes to insurance for like 2 hours. All right, hold on. Let me see if we got anything good over here. Links to the dolly. So I linked out the best starter dolly, in my opinion, is the one from Spacewalk. I linked it in Facebook and I linked it in the chat on, yes, I linked it in the chat on the Zoom as well. It's called the Super Mover. It's about, it's gone up. So it's about $700. It's the best one. The tires break all the time. It's brutal. If you know somebody that can weld, you can just weld the hubs back on. It's the best way to do it.
And then you said you came from Journeys, right? You were selling retail.
Yeah, the shoe store Journeys. I worked there for, bro, it's still weird to say, but 16 years.
Yeah, and that's crazy because so like I said, I work at a prison, and there was one guy, and he was just a salesman. Like that was his knack. Like, dirt to a ditch digger, right? So he was going through the ranks. So with our job, if you start promoting, it's a 50-50 chance on whether people are still going to like you. Because like to promote in my that I work at, you normally have to like kiss ass and like kind of climb and connive your way to the top. But some people can still be a decent person. So this was one of those guys. He was going up and he could still be a decent person, still loved his people. But he would get on eBay, and I mean he'd make like $2,500 in a week, just selling like sports helmets and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
signed jerseys. So he got this job selling roofs. And there was another guy that he had been at the state. He was on admin, all the special teams, this, that, and the third. One of the best spots you can have in my job. And the guy that left already and was selling roofs, he told my other buddy, it was like, hey man, you can come. All you got to do is, sell these roofs or whatever. And so he was like, yeah, sure, I'll try it out. He went and he stopped by back in May, I want to say, and he pulled up, and I was like, "Hey, man, how's it going? Whatever, blah blah. How's the roof selling business going?" And he showed me his phone, and it was year to date. So in May, he had made 40 grand off of just selling roofs, and
that's amazing.
I mean, it was pretty cool. It's just, but he had 17 years in the state, and. 17. So if you get to 25, that's a decent retirement. So,
right.
Yeah. 3, so 8 more years, he'd have been sitting all right, but he made that jump, and he's doing good. So I gotta look for my landing pad and, make my jump. So that's what I'm looking
going, dude.
at.
All right,
I got 6
years
in there with him now.
All right, so check this out. I got a question on Facebook. How many slides/bounce houses can one person reasonably handle renting out alone? So that's a good question. I'm gonna tell a little bit of a story, not too long. So a long time ago, I say a long time ago, 2020, I tried to be a real estate agent for like 20 minutes. The thing about being a real estate agent, and no offense to any real estate agents, is I can't handle dealing with real estate agents. They're not my people. It's just tough, right? So during that time, I had somebody work for me, great dude, his name's Adam. So he was doing, right, I was doing all the office stuff, trying to become a real estate agent. and he was doing all the deliveries, pickups, whatever. Not all of them, but most of them. Then fast forward, he ended up getting out of school, and he's now a physical therapist assistant, right? So he's over there adjusting people, doing his thing. And so I went back into the business full time August 2020, I want to say. I did, our inventory was roughly 16, 17 slides, 18 slides, somewhere in that ballpark. There was one weekend where I think I did 13 slides in one day pickup. So I had dropped some on Friday, I dropped some on Saturday, and then, you know, 1 or 2 on Sunday. And then Monday I went and picked up 13 slides by myself, save for the 2 units that were 19 footers that I, if I remember right, my wife came and helped me pick up those too. But to answer the question, how many bounce houses one person reasonably handle running out alone? It depends on your ambition. You know what I mean? I had already quit my job, a good job that paid well and had a free car and free laptop and free internet at my house because my office was in my house. And I was trying to make up for that. You know what I mean? So it was kind of one of those situations where there was no other alternative. It was what it was. So I went, like, when I say I went hard as fuck, it's like, that's understated. Randomly the other day, I was wondering, so my kids had YouTube up on the TV, right? The big TV out front, which I've never watched my own video on the TV out there. I watch it on my phone, or I watch it on it, right? Or I edit it on iMovie, whatever. So I was like, I wonder what I look like on the TV. And I accidentally opened the one from Easter weekend. So Easter weekend 2021, I was still alone, right? I wasn't cleaning slides, but, well, I kind of was, but I worked I think it was 17 hours Friday, Good Friday and Saturday. Didn't work Easter, right? Because I'd already dropped everything off, but I worked back-to-back 17-hour days. And then on Monday was when Tyler started, right? And if you guys were here a long time ago, I was talking about Tyler. Tyler was like the first employee that I hired of the new crew that I have. And then me and Tyler went and picked everything up on Monday. Still didn't make it to everything. I went and picked some up on Tuesday. But I was watching that video. I was like, yo, I can't even believe how intense that was. And I remember how grueling it was, but like, watching the video of me doing it, I was like, that's insane. But to answer your question, somewhere in the ballpark, but somewhere between 5 and 15. But again, it depends on your ambitions. If you want to get the hell out of where you're working, then 15. Like, go after it. Like, if you're an entrepreneur, you'll find a way. But that's a good question. Somebody else asked, hey Nick, regarding Christmas lights, how do you do a 2-story home? It depends on the house. So that's the fun thing about doing Christmas lights, is every time you show up on a job, right? Because I will have seen it. I used to approve all the bids, but then once my mom got good at it, I just said, just go. And so she does everything. She'll run the big ones by me. If it's $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 home, she'll run it by me for approval. But basically, the first time I've seen the house is when I show up to the house, other than the picture that I've seen, you know, come through the group text. And you start to get good at it. It's like doing bounce houses or water slides, to where you just understand what to do in that situation. And so you just can look at the house and you start to see the trim lines. It's actually a sickness. You'll drive down the road and start bugging your wife if I did house lights on that house, and then you start saying how you trim out the lights, whatever. But basically you look for power, and then you work backwards, and then you figure out how the power cords are going to go. And after you do all of that, then you start kind of contemplating how you're going to get to every level. Because sometimes you have, right? So if you have a gutter here, and then the lower levels here, you can't put a ladder up to this one because your angle is too steep. So you have to figure out another way to get up there. So how do you do a 2-story home? It just depends on the home. And that Rubik's Cube of solving how to install the home is like part of the rush, you know what I mean, of doing Christmas lights. It's a lot of fun.
I mean, not without a picture, what does a $2,000 Christmas light job look like? I mean, do you just outline the house, or I mean, do you put
Yeah.
like so just people paid $2,000 for you to outline their house?
Yeah. Like
That's crazy.
just along the gutters, you know, and the gables and everything.
Yeah.
That's the average.
That's ridiculous.
That's the average.
Well, I mean, so what kind of neighborhood do you live in then? Do you live kind of like a suburb type, you know?
Oh, I do.
500.
I got one house in my neighborhood. I do one house in my neighborhood. Ain't nobody paying me in my neighborhood. But you go over, so if you go down the main highway that I live off of, and then right off there, there's a neighborhood in there where Sean Payton, the former coach of the Saints, used to live. Numerous Saints players lived, numerous Pelicans players lived. But mostly that neighborhood is made up of, you know, whatever, lawyers, doctors, and people that own big businesses.
Gotcha.
And so basically what happens is, A, they got a gazillion dollars worth of expendable income, right? Like the bill doesn't matter to them. B, they have a house that nobody can put Christmas lights on but me. So like if they want Christmas lights, they have to hire me. So when the bid comes in at $4,000, they have no option. It's either $4,000 or no Christmas lights. They got plenty of money in the bank to where $4,000 is justifiable. Bingo, boingo. You got a client.
That's crazy. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think I mean, I could go because I'm in Florida, so I don't know if you know anything about Florida, but I'm kind of in between Jacksonville and Gainesville type area. So to get to anywhere expensive where anybody's, you know, doing anything, there's 2 NFL players that are within like 40, you know, 30, 45 minutes for me. And that's LaTroy Guion and CJ Spiller are from my area.
Oh yeah.
Other than that, you have people that have money, but the people that have money around me aren't. They got money because they don't spend money type deal. So they're not going to spend, you know, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 on Christmas lights. You know, they're going to do it themselves type thing.
So I've got a guy coming to my Christmas light training in September. He lives in Louisiana, but he's probably like 3 hours away from me, kind of in small town area. And so he was asking me the other day, you know, how much he could expect to make and da. And I was real busy. I didn't have time to text him. So I was like doing that thing where you talk into Instagram. And so it's like recording my voice. And so I'm just kind of talking through, and like, as I'm talking, I'm just kind of spitballing, right? Like I'm just kind of brainstorming while I'm talking to him. And he replies back, he said, "Oh shit, are you kidding me? $50,000? That's insane." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I really think you could do 50K in a small area like that because, excuse me, you've got, bro, no matter where you go, you got people with expendable income, whether we want to call them rich people or not, it don't matter. You know what I mean? And so, and everywhere you go, you've got, I mean, everybody wants Christmas lights on their house. Everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so he said he was willing to drive. I asked him how far away Alexandria was, which is not a major city by any standpoint, but at least a populated area. And he said it was like an hour and 15 minutes from him. I said, well, dude, right there, I know Alexandria well enough to know you've got a gazillion car dealerships, a gazillion restaurants, a gazillion shopping centers. I mean, you've got enough clientele right there to where you could make a day trip of it to go do 2 car dealerships. Car dealerships are actually kind of easy. So you could probably do 3 in a day, right? You know, and that's why I said, if you went hard, you could do 50K, but, you know, just don't come in expecting to do 100 And that's where he was like, 50? Are you joking me? He's in the chat right now.
Yeah.
Cody, that's you, huh? That was you that I was talking with from Alexandria, right?
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah. Yeah, so I really think, you know what I mean? I'm interested to see what you guys are able to do year one, because I've got the question from smaller town people a lot. They just weren't close to me like you are. You know what I mean? They were some weird place in Wisconsin or whatever, super far away. And to where, you know, getting a plane ticket to come down here to the training was just out of the question. And so I'm really intrigued to see, and maybe it's because I live in Louisiana, but I'm really intrigued to see what you guys could do this year. But I'm very optimistic. I really think you guys will do good. We just got to make sure that your marketing plan, you know, hits the areas of population and this is where you're going to come in as the expert, but or around me, there's houses out in the country that are so far off the road that, not that they don't want Christmas lights, but like literally nobody will see them. And so we just got to be careful to make sure that we get you in the right areas. But I really think you'll skew much more commercial. I mean, shit, there's a guy, the biggest company around me is called Be the Light. His name is Hunter. He's a very nice guy. He has a Chick-fil-A that's 2 hours away. That's a $36,000 install every year. One Chick-fil-A is $36,000.
So as far as like your strap business, what's it cost to patent something like that?
Oh my God.
Or do you have a patent on it, or?
I'm in the works. Josh is talking me out of it. But I'm in the works. It costs about, and I got a good deal on this, but it costs about $1,200 to make sure nobody else already has it patented. And then to go get it patented is somewhere in the ballpark between $10,000 and $20,000.
That is crazy. See, because I've looked at, I got a buddy, he owns it's a bow fishing like brand, but it's just the brand. And so like for a brand, I've quoted, it's about $400 to own your own brand. That is crazy on, you know, what, 20, you know, almost 30 grand to own invention. That's
and so basically, right, so I have the jump off is submitted for trademark to where nobody can use the jump off for anything inflatable related or anything strap related. I don't have approval on it yet, but it's submitted. Yeah, and it was $400, like $450, something like that.
Yeah.
To get the patent, which at this point in time, sales justify the cost, except for what Josh was telling me, and I can see his picture in here, but I don't know if he's still in here. What he was telling me is, my straps are X length. You know, you got to patent every length, or it's kind of a weird lawyery thing to where, I'm definitely looking into it. You know what I mean? I definitely want to make it happen. Like I really do want the straps, the rolling straps specifically, to be patented, because it's something I did not invent rolling inflatables with straps, right? People have been doing that with toe straps from Walmart that cost $30 for years, but they're just a pain in the ass, dude. Like they're terrible. And so I set out to make one that was nice and clean and neat, tidy and awesome, and whatever, like succeeded. I really feel like I was lucky, like I knew how to sew and like whatever. But I do want to get it patented because it's something that is near and dear to my heart, and I think it's worth it. But if it's useless to get a 35-foot rolling strap patented because somebody else could just make a 40-foot, then it's like it is what it is. You know what I mean?
And I mean, don't hate me for saying it, but I did look up cheaper straps because I looked on your website and read like the entrepreneur motivational speech or whatever, and that was pretty cool. Like, if you got any more ideas or stuff like that, that was, it got me kind of hyped, give me some goosebumps or whatever. But I was like, damn, $65. I was like, and let me look up the straps or whatever. But then I'm on a mindset also to all big brand companies like like Nike and stuff. Like, I mean, I buy the cheapest of everything. I'm to the point to where I'm not going to give my money to big companies that just already have plenty of money. It's like I like to hunt and fish and stuff like that. So there was actually a older guy that worked at my job, and I never met him, but I met him through people that I knew. And he owns his own little shop in the town next, and he sells ammo, any kind of hunting gear and anything. And even with ammo, it's a little bit higher price than Walmart, but I'd rather give my money to a little mom and pop shop than any, big name brand person. So I'm on a different mindset to save every little penny I can and just put it towards, at least if I'm gonna waste money, I want to waste it towards someone that's trying to, that's a good person that's trying to better themselves and not just this big old, because I'm a big conspiracy theorist too. So I feel like, and I don't mean to get too political, but the people that are, the way the world's going, I don't feel like it's the government that's necessarily behind it. I feel like it's, the people that have a lot of money and just are bored and, they're putting chess pieces places and, just messing with people. So I like to just try and, give my money to people that can, are family guys and stuff like that, just trying to make a better life for themselves.
Yeah, I mean, and that's, anybody that, because I now have Event Hawk on my Shopify store, like the jump off store. And so I'm starting to have text conversations with clients that I wasn't having before. And so basically what I tell them, I'm like, I understand that it's $65. And like, do you think that's too much for a strap? I said, you'll literally have them forever until one of your employees loses them. Like, they're a forever product. You never, ever, ever have to replace these. Because I've got it dialed into where it's not going to break. You know what I mean? It's not going to break until you lose it. But that being said, I understand, dude. Like, $65 is a lot to spend. I bought the fucking $20 ones back in the day, and they worked great, but I hated them because they took up so much space. But the interesting thing about the explosion of the rolling straps, right? I've sold. So I've got a 20. Let me show you these real quick.
Yeah, you sold like because I seen you posted it was like 430 something this year or something like that.
And I haven't built Jolly Dolly for these. So these are ones we built specifically for Jolly Dolly. There you go, for Instagram, right? So it says Jolly Dolly on that side, and then the underside is our logo, right?
Yeah.
And so I got to take these up to Gary. So Jolly Dolly is located like 20 minutes away from me. So I got to take these up to Gary either tomorrow or the next day. But I haven't built Gary for these, and he's got an order of 20, and then Event Hawk already bought 20, and they got another order of 20 coming in, right? So add 40 to that number. That's unbelievable, dude. I wanted to sell enough of these. The entire plan was to sell enough of these per week to cover payroll, so I didn't have to work Saturday and Sunday. And now I've sold 480 of them this year. Like, it's bonkers, right?
That's crazy.
But the thing about that is people aren't buying the rolling straps for the utility. They're buying the rolling straps from me because I engage with every single person that ever DMs me. I answer every question that ever comes in. I have no secrets in how I run the jump off. I put them all on YouTube. You know what I mean? There's nothing that I do that isn't to help people. There's nothing I do that is to make money, right? Yeah. Of course, I sell these. Yes, I sell these to make money. But like I said, it started as a way to just stop having to work my guts out on the weekend, right? Yeah. And as these have took off, guess what I still do? I still go on routes with the guys every weekend because I love it, right? So it's not the straps that sell, it's me that sells the straps. And so like my dad is a mechanical engineer and works for Johnson and Johnson, but he has patents that he like, I guess, created or whatever. I think he has 5 patents that he created that are now patented. And so in a conversation with him, we were talking about it. He said, can anybody sell these? I said, there's no way anybody could sell them, right? Because people aren't buying the straps, they're buying me. And then the straps are hyper, super, ultra, mega effective, right? Because I've made them to where they will be. And so it's kind of a thing where everybody keeps telling me not to patent it, you know what I mean? But I just don't want some bigger company to swoop in that can outsource to China and get everything at a cheaper price and then undercut me on price and take away the joy that I have of helping people away from me. You know what I mean? But at the same time,
that's what I totally see, because I wanted to ask you that, how do you sell it without it being patent? Because I mean, as far as selling anything, especially like on your level, like with a website and anything like that, but I mean it's 2022, so I guess, you know, everything is website now. But I mean, like you're selling it on a website, this and that, you know, selling you know, over close to 500 straps, you know, year to date. So I don't know. I'm not very, you know, I don't know about the laws as far as selling stuff like that on, you know, a big scale, but I didn't think it'd be you know, doable type deal.
I mean, same. Like, so I launched them. So my wife and I, our anniversary is August 22nd. I had made the original video to launch these last year, whatever, the Thursday. I just remember it's a Thursday. I don't remember the date. And then like I left to go on our trip for our not our honeymoon, but our anniversary, like the next day. And I remember waking up the next morning being like, all right, dude, am I gonna have one sale or am I gonna have 15? Right? Because I was like still making them at my house. Like I'd only made a handful, you know, I had like 2 sales or whatever. Because the video just wasn't right. Like I was still learning. And sales were okay through the winter. And then I made a better video in February, which is what really when they started to take off. And then people started talking about it or whatever, and then it just exploded. But to answer your question, I mean, you can sell whatever you want. The good thing is that nobody can make this and then go patent it, because I have proof that I've been, like I have sales that I can report, you know what I mean? So nobody can go patent it and lock me out of making it. It's just another person come along and make it.
I mean, but how liable is that? Because I mean, I've heard of people, you know, like say you're coming up with something and like, I understand you have the proof of selling it, but say, you know, I make a badass invention and then, hey man, you know, I just made this, and then, you know, they take that idea, go and patent it, and then they run with it. From my experience, that is, once you patent it, it's yours. Like, once you get that patent, like that, you know, if they approve that patent, it's a wrap. I mean, that's their invention, that's their money.
Yeah, I mean, anybody with bigger lawyers than me definitely, you know, could run their course, and that's kind of where like I operate off of goodwill. Like it's like nobody in the industry, not nobody, but the vast majority of people in the inflatable industry understands that I'm out to help people, and I'm not out here gouging. I'm not out here trying to make a buck. I'm not sleazy. You know what I mean? So the odds that somebody comes in to try to steal my thunder is lower. If they did, they then couldn't go patent it, because I can prove that I've sold 500 this year. Like, I already sold 500 this year. You can't go patent it out from under me. And I don't know. And I don't know how all that works, right? Because I'm not a patent lawyer, but
sure. I mean, I hope it works out for you as far as, you know, keeping it. I hope, you know, you can just easily patent it and keep your invention, because I mean, like how I rolled my slide up, like that was your video. I was like, man, how the fuck do I roll up this slide? Like I was out there struggling, and you know, I'm out there, you know, kind of by myself because y'all are talking about employees and stuff like that, and then that was going to be a later question is as far as like tax stuff on how y'all do y'all's employees. But I'm out here struggling with a slide, so I literally put it on my phone. You know, I did your I think you did you had somebody with you, but he was just videoing, and it was it had the palm trees on it. It was an 18-foot slide, I think. You know how to do it by yourself. So I was like, all right, well, so I'd sit there and I'd play like 10 seconds of it, and you're like, you fold this corner. So I go and fold this corner, then I pause it, you know, and then I play it. All right, then you go down here, you got to flatten it out. So I flatten it out, fold this corner, and then I play it again, and then that's how I fold my slide. And I was like, hell yeah, like it's a lot better than, you know what, I could never get that perfect cylinder, like it was always dented in the middle, and I had to tweak it a little bit to get it, you know, folded up how I wanted it, but it worked.
That's cool, dude. That's exciting to hear, man, because that's why I put those videos out. So that's exciting to hear.
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely inspirational because I mean, it's just my luck, but I got a lot of negativity, you know, in my area. I got one guy, maybe two guys. One guy, he has a very successful lawn mowing business. I got another guy that I've been working on the side with and cutting some grass with him, just making some quick cash. And I'm actually, you know, leaning towards the lawn mowing business and getting one of those started, you know, just so
lucrative,
I can
bro.
Basically fund the bounce house.
It's lucrative. I got 2 close buddies that own lawn care businesses. One is really big and he keeps scaling it. The other one is plenty big and they're very happy where they're at. So they've kind of capped their growth. But it's lawns. I'm allergic to grass, so it's nothing I'll ever do. But lawn is a very lucrative biz.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking into it. And then see, because I don't see myself being a billionaire at any point, but there's a guy, his name's Dan Penna. You ever heard of him?
Mm-mm.
He's one of the motivational speakers I listen to, and he's got to be at least late 50s, early 60s, or shit, he might be in his 70s. But and he's got his eyes are cocked like a pistol, crazy looking dude. But if you go on YouTube and look up his videos, he's real kind of cocky dude. Does some cussing and stuff in his videos. So and that's one thing I kind of look for is like how you got like tattoos and you know a little bit of cussing and drinking, stuff like that. Like it relates to the world now. Everybody wants to be so professional and, you know, put on suits and ties and shit like that. That's not how the world's working. Like that. Even your doctors and your lawyers and stuff like that, they go home, they're hanging out. So I like the laid back people. You know, if you reveal who you are, then I trust you a lot more. But Dan Penna, look him up. He's a great motivational speaker. But he's just he's cutthroat, man. And I lost my train of thought here, but it's a good dude to look up. He's a gangster, man.
Nice. Cool. Absolutely, dude. I will look him up. Cool. All right, y'all. Well, I think we're gonna end here. Cody, it was freaking great to rap with you at the end, man. Thank you for getting on the mic because it got quiet real quick at the end. So
if I could have figured out my computer quicker, I'd have been on at the beginning, but I'll be excited for the next one.
Yeah, so I think we're gonna do this every Wednesday at 6 Central. I don't see why not. The more beers, the merrier. But anyways, I'm gonna do my best to cross post this to YouTube. Will be unedited, so apologies for that. But kind of learning this whole thing as we go. But anyways, I think we're out. So everybody have a good night. Thank you for watching and see you next Wednesday. Cheers.